Yeah, why don't you... Oh, actually, before we do that, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Lark, you would be up this week. I think this is your first time scribing with the group, right?
It is.
Alright, are you good for scribing?
Yes, indeed.
Alright, so Uslag, could you give us a quick recap of last time?
Sure. Yeah, we fought the freaking Nightwalker. Woo! Um, so yeah, we fought him. We fought him pretty good. He
Get
uh
him.
summoned some of our friends, which was really brutal. Um, as well as Kavara, our short-term ally. So we had to fight them off while the angel kind of kept him at bay, but we were able to weaken him enough for Remy to cast that awesome charm monster and convince him to get out. Um, when he went into the rift, out came a wizard, a friend of Karash, and super powerful, seeing as he disintegrated a wraith instantly. So the rest of the session was really just talking to this wizard who was fairly weakened, but we were able to get a few things from him. And then just kind of assess everything that happened. I think that was about it. The miasma dissipated, so we were kind of able to rest, not have to worry about that anymore. What else? That's about it. We just fought the Nightwalker, no biggie. It was
Yes.
pretty awesome. I'm not gonna do play by play, but I really wish I could because it was amazing. Everyone did a really good job.
That is fine. So I think it's currently... you all kind of went to rest, so it past evening, 64th of fall, and it's now about 7 a.m., you would guess. Whatever is the equivalent in Shadowfell time. So, sorry, just looking at something here. Alright, so yeah, you leveled up. Is everyone good with level up? Any questions? Anyone need tokens or anything like that?
I do not.
The only token I might need in the future. Oh, nope, I didn't pick up that spell, so never mind.
Alright, so, yeah, the fort seems to be doing well, or at least with the Nightwalker taken down. Uh, you're told by your two allies, whose names are Quince and Xeris, tell you that they've captured or killed all of the cultists on the first floor, and basically they would come up there to find you in the morning. So yeah, Quince and Zeros would kind of run over to the group and ask, "Is everyone all right?"
Uslag would instantly just, uh, are the rest of them are okay? What happened? Grilla.
So
The map that we're on, should it be visible? I see black.
there should be. Do you see anything?
I just see
No.
black.
Anything now?
I also see black.
All right. Sure. It should be a little bit visible. Let's see. How about now?
I see, what was that?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we've got
I
like
see it.
little.
Haha.
So you're in a fort. You shouldn't see anything else, so just don't move the token for now.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
gotcha.
there's no way to make it so you can see, but you can't move the token, which is
Okay.
unfortunate. But, yeah, so who was it? Grella, unfortunately, died in the battle. But everyone else from your tribe is fine, they say. Quince says, yeah, Grella went looking for you, unfortunately. She had one of the the one of the amulets, and we didn't know what had happened to her. I thought maybe she came back, but we weren't sure because she didn't say exactly what she was doing. And then we figured out later that she had gone back in before we closed it. I'm sorry, Uslog.
It's all right. Her choice.
Says, but it seems like overall everything was a success. The fort has been locked down. As I said, we captured all the cultists and all the others that we couldn't capture. As far as we know, died fighting the Nightwalker and his forces. I don't think there are any more vampires either. I think they were mostly slain. So I think we've won for now. Good work with being able to fight off the Nightwalker. And she would kind of look over and see the old wizard and say, "Who's that?"
I would introduce the wizard to the group as Xerxes, and I would invite
So he's
these
still
newcomers
unconscious, by the way.
Oh, oh, that is good to know.
This is Xerxes. He's asleep.
He's fine. Don't worry. I was just going to say that I probably would have woke up a little bit early to make a nice, but small, modest breakfast for the party with a little bit of tea, and I would offer it to these newcomers, and say that you don't recognize me either, but
Oh yeah, who's the elephant man?
he's the elephant in the room.
Well, I think they kind
Sam
of saw
Kraft.
you when they did the was it with the scrying that Xeris did? He may have seen you, but that's
I don't
fine.
remember.
This-
I don't
this-
remember myself.
Yeah, we can say this is the first time they've met you, though. So, yeah, Quince and Xeris would smile and say, "Welcome to the group. I'm glad we could save you."
I'm glad to be alive. I actually was kind of at the end and didn't think that I was going to come out the other side. So this is my first breakfast as on a new leaf. So welcome.
Uh,
And then,
so you're kind of giving breakfast to everyone.
yes.
All right. So they say we're still doing some exploration of this place, but you all probably are still maybe a little drained from your experiences. Take as much time as you need to rest and recuperate. But you're free to move about the keep now. Just be cautious because we don't know if there are still vampires within. We don't think there are, but there might be.
Out of game question, is this like a multi-leveled, like are we a couple floors deep right now, or are we what kind of building are we in?
So there are 3 levels to the keep, and I guess I could give you back the map we were using, just so you could see closer. But yeah, you guys are over here right now. So there are 3 levels. The upper level has a bunch of the prisons, and then there's the roof that you can go on. And there's the second level, the first level, which is more where a bunch of the bunks are. And there is a basement area. It's a pretty big keep.
I'll ask the group, have we gone to the basement to take a look? Has this been a fairly thoroughly explored area?
So Xeris and Quince would tell you that they've been on the first floor in the basement, although none of you have been there yet.
Yeah,
But-
we've kind of been stuck on this floor for, reasons.
Can I look around this room for a weapon and armor? Is there any in here?
There are the same things in here that you found last time. Because I think this room was thoroughly searched.
I don't recall.
That might be on the party treasury, because I know there was a bunch of looting of the room that occurred. Who's the party treasurer?
Oh, there we go. I just found it.
It's Adeline.
It's Adeline.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
Is
let
there
me.
which do we have a channel for treasury, or is that just
There
something that
is.
she was keeping?
Yeah.
I think it is in group info.
Yeah. So in roll 20, click on the journal drop down, and then
Oh, journal.
yeah, group info, party treasure 2.
Try it on my phone. Okay.
Party treasure 1 is MIA, perhaps
Yeah.
never to be
Oh.
seen again, including a broom.
As
and
a-
nobody is-
As a part of a long rest, can we identify any of those magical items that
Yes.
If someone has the identify spell
Do I? I think I do.
and the pearl that
Oop.
is needed.
Shoot. Nope, I don't.
You can do a basic
I
identify, which will give you possibly some information about the item, but nothing like secret words or hidden powers. Just mechanical things like maybe +1 to attack.
Does Adeline have identified?
Good question. Let me pull that up. I believe that she does, but I am not 100%. Okay, survey says.
I don't know because she's a priest, so I don't think she does.
Oh,
We're gonna
sorry,
find
never
out
mind.
right now.
We're wearing all of them currently anyway.
yeah.
Like whether we know what they do or not. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, you can still
Rune
still
can
take a little
identify
bit of time for it.
She does
Yeah.
not have identify.
Rune was always the one to do that for us.
I do have detect magic, but not identify.
Yeah, no help here.
Was there a
Me
specific
neither.
item you were looking at that you didn't know what it did?
Well, I put on the breastplate +1. I was kind of just curious to see if there was any additional effects to it.
Now that you've
So yeah, Rune, who's I think still trapped, might be able to help you out because I assume you're gonna go free her today.
Oh yeah, that's on our to-do list for sure.
All right,
I'm
so
sure
If I
she's
throw
having
an
a good
ice,
time
if
in
I
the
throw an
meeting.
ice knife at him, will he learn what it does? I'm sorry.
sorry, what?
Nothing. Ignore that. I said if I throw an ice knife at him, would he learn anything about his breastplate?
Uh, probably not unless there was some kind of thing it did on its own to stop it. But yeah,
I don't know him
probably
well enough
not.
for that yet.
But I
would-
didn't really see anywhere in our party treasury about non-magical items that we picked up.
I don't know that we have. I think the only things
That's what
I
I
think
thought.
we might have found. I want to say we found like some.
I'm just looking for a regular melee weapon that I could infuse with some magic.
I feel like we maybe found like a room with like some mundane. It might have been not this room here, because I think this is Arden Relic's office, but it might have been this one here, which I think is the forge.
Yeah, I
So then
think
we saw that there was some in there, but I don't think we took any. So you could go back and grab one probably.
yes. So Relic had some potions. I don't think he had much else though.
Okay.
There was I think there was one amulet in there.
Yes.
I think that we
think we
attempted
did
to
have
identify it and didn't, and Adeline is holding it.
Adeline is holding on to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She fucking
Yeah.
attuned to that shit. She just doesn't know what it does.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
just attuned to a random magical item. All right, so as I said, at this point, it's kind of free form what the group wants to do.
But I
Where
infuse
are
some
we,
items
by the
before we
way?
leave.
I can't see. I'm still seeing all blackness. I don't think my token's on there, but I don't know where to put it. Gotcha. Thank you.
That's weird.
Yay.
Whoever asks for a melee item, I can give you a simple staff, quarterstaff, if you'd like.
That would be wonderful.
Please, by all means, and I'll hand you my quarterstaff.
I will pick up that quarterstaff. Thank you.
Of course.
All right,
And if you prefer a knife, that is an option as well. I do have many of those.
So what does the group want to do?
We should go get Rune.
I'm going to hand some goggles of the night over to Lark.
Ooh.
Fuck yeah, that's critical.
Oh, that's another thing. I have to make sure the dark vision or new dark vision is set up correctly.
And then, if possible, I'd like to infuse my shield as a repulsion shield, my armor with enhanced defense, and then the weapon is a radiant weapon. And
Oh.
that is my 4 infusions. I'm sorry, Remy.
You're good. No, you're going frontline. You need it.
I need to bulk up my AC a little bit more than what I got.
Yeah, that's fine. So you do your infusions.
Chomsky, these will be incredibly valuable. I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you for the quarterstaff. I love popping things over the head.
You can thank Karash for that one.
Oh, sorry.
I give you a slight nod, and you'll notice kind of a lightness to Karash this morning. He's been bogged down for quite a long time with this guilty weight, and his shoulders almost feel lifted, and some of the cracks in his skin, the cracks in his tusk, don't seem to be as deep or as jarring as they were the day before. He looks relieved.
Well, you're looking quite limber, big guy. I must say, killing gives me the same reaction.
Well,
Why
don't know
are
what I
you the way that you are?
I blame my mother, truly.
So do I.
Seems we have
Remy,
more in common than we thought.
do you have dark vision, Remy?
I do not. I have light cast on my shield.
Yeah, I was just redoing some stuff with the character, so... Alright, that's all I
Yeah.
want to know. So I'm using the red bubble for temp HP now, so just always use that, and if you put it on your sheet, it should reflect in your red bubble now instead of just being whatever it was. The other thing is make sure you have your HP, your maximum HP, like what it should be in parentheses, next to what your current total HP is. So just so you remember, in case you get drained or get aid used on you or whatever, to kind of modify your max HP.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Alright, so you said you're heading over to free Rune, yes? That's the
We should
first thing the
definitely
group's
make our
doing.
way in that direction.
Yeah.
I think we're also maybe trying to find Arden Relic still.
Well, you're pretty sure he's not here,
Oh yeah.
but you never know. He could be hiding somewhere. Lark, you just got dark vision, right?
I did, yes.
Alright, let me note that.
I think shouldn't my spell save DC have gone up? Hold on.
As a result of the level? Yeah,
No,
actually, no.
Did your proficiency go up?
Proficiency,
yeah.
proficiency
Yeah,
was already at 9, and it doesn't go up to 5 until 13. I think.
No. I multi-class, so that was my ninth one. For
Proficiency
sorcerer.
Proficiency doesn't care about multi-class.
Yeah,
It's just your
certain
total.
Oh,
levels.
sorry. Oh, never mind. Thank you.
That's my bad too. I thought that.
Ability score improvements do, but proficiency does not.
Right.
Alright, I'm going to take your missile weapon off you for just a moment, Mark, or a Lark.
Okay. Mark with a C.
Just to take a snapshot of your token. Alright. And Koresh, finally. Because I don't think Adeline has dark vision.
I don't believe so either.
I don't have dark vision. I don't know how to do this, but I do have 10 feet of blind sight. Just, if you can somehow do that in a token.
Yeah, I can sort of do that. So let's put 10 feet. Uh, 10 feet, none, and HP temp. So are you at 108 of 98 right now, Koresh?
No, I should be at 108 of 108
Okay.
after a long rest. I thought I changed it on there. Do I need to change something in the green?
Are you using the Roll20 sheet?
No, I'm using D&D Beyond. I can link that to you, though.
So you have to make sure... Alright, what's going on here? Yeah, so I think you're using your current HP and max HP boxes in reverse, because right now it says 108 of 98.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I didn't actually change this sheet except for updating through.
So that might just need to be reversed. Alright.
So, long rest rules are full health, or do you roll for it here?
Long rest is full health. And you
Okay,
get back
then I'm at
half
108.
of your hit dice. Some of the barbarians come up and they say, we're going to take the bodies downstairs to be buried. Of the fallen.
I have Grella.
Are you keeping her body?
I have her ashes.
Oh yeah, I guess they did turn to ash. So... Yeah, I guess they'll collect Braz. And they didn't really know who the drow was. I don't know if the group wants to do something.
I will.
Adeline did said a little something, didn't she?
She said something. Yeah, I would say, as long as it looks like there are there's an effort for last rites continuing elsewhere, I will collect Kavar's ashes and I will participate on her behalf.
Okay. So you collect her ashes.
As Remy walks by, he'll just kind of look down, take out a gold piece, and flick it with his thumb to where Braz's ashes are. Just say, "It was good seeing you again," and just walk away.
Alright. So yeah, the ashes are collected, and they say, yeah, we'll just... For the ones that they took, they say we're just taking them downstairs for now. Shara is back in the background. So yeah, you can move around on this level freely at this point. If you want to go down or up, just let me know and I can change. But I assume you're going to Uslog first, right?
Yeah,
You mean
to
Rune?
Rune.
Yeah.
Or yeah, sorry, to Rune, where she's trapped. So
If I can just, say to the other barbarians who came in to keep an eye on this new unconscious wizard, that would be fantastic.
they would nod. Most of them went back downstairs, but a few of them stayed, and they say, "Yeah, we can keep an eye on him."
Greatly appreciate it.
All right, so
Can I ritually cast Detect Magic and just have that up?
Yeah, I mean that only lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay.
So
Maybe I'll hold off until later. So we're searching.
yeah, and actually, you don't need to move your tokens around because that's gonna take a long
Thank
time,
you.
and I'll I'll just let you navigate this place. If the tokens are needed, I'll pull them back out. But as a whole, I'll use a party token to represent where the group is. There's a light here. So the party... What's the most vision the party has?
I think it's, in terms of dark vision, I think it's 60 feet. I don't think we have any sort of like double sight or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright. But you do have a light source anyway. So the group moves back over to here. Where, yeah, you have Rune still trapped inside. And if you bring out the mirror, you would see that she is still in there. She seems excited to see the group. She says, "How did things go?"
They went well, yeah, very well, frankly.
She says, "It looks like you all survived." So,
That
We even
can I come out, or is everything all right?
Yes. How do we remember how we get her
yeah.
out of here?
Is the wizard still with us?
The wizard.
Wizard. What wizard?
The one that we freed, Xerxes.
Oh no, he's unconscious.
He's unconscious.
I think. Could you bring that?
Go ahead.
Could
I
you
was
bring the
just
what?
I was just gonna ask who this is, or like, is this somebody that's trapped or just hiding?
So there is a warforged. Looks like well, I think I have a picture. Hang on a moment. Rune, where are you, Rune? Because actually, yeah, I don't think you've met her yet.
I have not. Apologies for slowing it down, but I was curious.
No, it's completely fine.
A good friend.
So
Can someone bring the body, the wizard? We have to trade one for one, and what better way to watch our friend than to keep him in the mirror?
As
think
Rune
it's
is
a
as Rune is
wonderful
having this
idea.
monologue, I'm gonna whisper the command word to the mirror.
all right, Rune is poofed out, and she still looks pretty weak and tired. She says, "Oh, thank you. Oh, it's so good to be out of there. It was nice not being in the miasma, but being trapped, I was so worried I'd be stuck in there for a while."
If I were you, I probably would have been worried too.
And
Rune, did you run out of cookies?
she
That's what it
says,
sounds like.
"Of course not. I didn't eat any because I knew I'd have to give some out when I was freed." And she gives you each a little cookie. There you are.
These are delicious, Rune. Thank you.
Who is the...
While Karash is eating his cookie, he's gonna side-eye Remy super hard.
who is
I mean,
who is the Loxodon?
it's true.
In fact, it is not true. There is no such trading that needs to happen.
It's possible, and it's the most secure solution, I think, personally.
It's
But of
secure
course,
in terms of trying to accomplish what? Get Rune out? Clearly, there was no need for such a trade.
no, I'm merely talking about taking care of our unknown variable that just joined the group.
Just because he's unknown to you does not mean he is unknown to our new friend.
Rune says, "Wait, there's
You
a
are-
variable?"
There is.
2.
Who? Me? I'm a known variable. I give cookies and I cast fireballs. I'm pretty... I think I'm fairly well known.
He's very smart.
Rune,
Did we have something that Rune? Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
No, please go ahead. You ask the question, then we'll do a little bit of roleplay after.
Did we have something that Rune we wanted to ask Rune about?
Yeah,
Item?
we wanted her to identify. We had some unidentified items. I know one of which is like a breastplate plus one that I'm wearing, and I think there were some other ones as well. If she would be so willing.
She says, "Oh, I like identifying things, and I even have the pearl for it." She smiles and has a little pearl flicked into her hand. She says, "I just need some time." Is there someplace I can sit down and rest? Are we safe? I should say. I'm talking kind of loud. I don't even know what's going on.
Safe enough, yes. Well, the defeat of the Night Walker, we have also dispatched, apparently, the miasma which was plaguing these floors, and according to your friend Xeris and what was that other one? Quince, was it? The rest of the fort is also safe as well.
Oh, that's so good to hear. What about all the other people trapped in this mirror? Are we going to do anything with them?
People is a choice. Yes.
Oh, I guess some of them are people. There's that strange gnome with the blue hair, and who was the other one? There was another Shatter Kai individual.
In fact, we did decide to let the Shadakai out, and she was helping us for
No,
a
that
time.
was the Drow that you let out.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, I never forget.
There was another there. So there was a bunch of demons. Just to remind you, because you would know this happened recently. There was a Baelor. There was a Hezro. There was a dire troll. There was the little blue-haired guy, and there was a shadow dancer. There was a bunch of shattered parts of the mirror. It looks like some cells that were ruined. And then there was the Drow who you freed.
Right. So in response, I'll say, well, certainly we're not going to be letting out any demons, and I don't know that. Well, actually, I do know. I don't trust the Shadakai, and I have personally no intention of letting them out either. However, this blue-haired, short fellow, although eccentric, may not need to stay in there. And if he gives us sufficient reason to let him out, perhaps we can.
If I remember correctly, he was the one who scared me most of all.
Well, I would say that given what doesn't scare you, I actually kind of trust that assertion.
Do you think?
I know I'm new here, but are we debating keeping people imprisoned in a demon mirror?
No,
No,
the mirror itself is
people,
not
no.
necessarily demonic. The creatures. So in this mirror, there are 12 cells. Many of them are damaged. Some of them are empty. The creatures that are in the cells remaining include one Baelor, one Hezro, one troll of some kind. All of these creatures, either devils or fiends or monstrosities, and probably should stay there lest they kill us. The two creatures which are not categorized as fiends, allegedly, are a Shadakai, which we spoke to, and seemed to indicate that he had no ill will towards us, but myself and Lady Kendrel did not agree that he was speaking truthfully. So I don't know if he would do anything to harm us directly, but I don't know that letting him out would be in our best interest, or frankly in the best interest of anybody other than himself. The other individual. Sorry, what was that?
Please go ahead. I'm sorry.
The other.
I'll learn the cadence for people as they go. Kind of in time. Yeah. I apologize.
You're good. It's awkward online as long as you're not. Nobody's talking over anybody intentionally, so you don't have to worry about chiming in when you want to chime in.
Yeah.
As far as this other individual, the only thing we know about him is that he's quite eccentric, has vivid blue hair, and has a urgent desire to get out, as I expect any of us would if we were in there. But we frankly don't know enough about him to know whether or not he is a friend or an enemy.
Uslug would speak up, say, Adeline and I met him briefly.
Did you?
In Issyk.
I don't remember about him.
And Rune says, Aranye, she says, and the mirror flashes, and you would see the little gnome sitting there. He looks up, and he says, oh, you're all back. Can I get out now?
Uslug would say, I mean, he's a grump, but I think we might be able to trust him.
Grump? What is that supposed to mean? How dare you?
I see.
What do we remember from our interaction from him last time?
I think it was basically just like, why would you leave me in here? Let me out. And we were like, we'll come back.
Like I can help.
Yeah, he
You
seemed.
put him on red.
He seemed a
No one
bit
trusted him.
eccentric.
Heard.
And
Gnome
yeah,
got the vibes that other people in the group who have met him before aren't the biggest fans of him. So I'm pretty confident.
there was
Yeah.
there
Oh,
was someone
I-
who had backstory.
so also, I think you claimed to know him, but he claimed not to know you,
Oh,
which was a little odd.
That sounds familiar.
that is strange.
Like he
'cause
said,
I definitely
he
remember a grumpy wizard with blue hair.
Like as a
Not
group or one person.
stuff.
No, this guy seemed like a real force to be reckoned with. I think. I don't know. That was the impression
yeah.
I
He
got.
made it.
he says,
Really
"Oh,
good.
I am a force to be reckoned with. That's just why you should let me out. You don't want an angry gnome to be reckoned with."
Well,
Instead
frankly,
of, out of curiosity, Mr. Gnome, are you able to get out of there yourself?
Yes,
like
I'm
force
sitting
you
here
to
for
take?
no particular reason. What do you think, Elephant Man? Of course not. I'm stuck.
well, in that case, little hollow hand, I'd say at this exact moment
Little?
you are no force to be reckoned with.
In fact, I think if one might accidentally slip and drop the mirror, you would be nothing to reckon with at all.
No, that's
I
quite
think that really
incorrect.
sticks
You would
them all.
immediately release him,
Yeah, he laughs and
as well as
says,
everything else.
Along with a few others.
yeah. He says, I wouldn't suggest breaking the mirror, although that would let me out. It would probably let everything else out, which would make things fun, but possibly deadly.
Indeed.
I didn't know that.
We did just get a long rest, so
He
I thought we
says-
could take.
He says, sorcerers, they're not known for their brains. And he laughs.
I never argued with you, darling. We're known for a few other things.
In any case, my companions here seem to have a very distinct recollection of meeting you elsewhere, but if I recall correctly, at our last conversation, you indicated that you did not know them. Is that correct?
As far as I know, I've never met you or any of your companions.
Do I believe him when he says this?
Give me a insight check.
Insight.
It seems like he's telling the truth.
Very
All the
well.
night.
Then I will just nod and say, very well. And what is your name?
My name?
Indeed, just to confirm that it is the name that we think it is, given that some of us have met you, but you have not met some of us.
It says, as I said before, my name is Aranye Hollowhand. Wizard
Quite.
extraordinaire.
And
What are you gonna do for us if we let you out?
What do you want me to do?
Gnome's
I do
gonna
have
look at the rest of the group.
I do have one question for you, Hollow Hand.
What is
Where
your
did the
question?
filling of your hand? Where did the filling of your hand go?
I'm gonna chuckle.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I couldn't
Hollow
resist.
Hand. Hollow Hand, yes. Remy. What are you best known for, skills-wise?
He says, I am a wizard of renown within many places. I have powers including specialization in evocation, as well as tinkering in alchemy and some knowledge of magical item creation.
Want to tell them about
Evocation.
your pet? Your
Pet? What pet?
guard fish?
Guardfish.
A guardfish.
What is a guardfish? What do you speak of, woman?
You were very proud of it when we met you last.
I've never met you, you crazy person. Why do you think you've met me?
Giant lizard thing in the water.
What
You
do
don't remember?
No, I have no giant lizard thing in any water. What are you talking about?
Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about where you come from and how you ended up here. It's not
Especially
every day you find yourself trapped in a mirror, in a box, in a fort, in the Shadowfell.
Especially with such esteemed company in your same fortress, same mirror, same plane.
I have several different laboratories. I travel a lot. I have traveled around
Well, not
Vitalia.
recently.
No, haha, not recently. Just shut up. I travel around Vitalia, Renalia. I've been to the deep. What do you want? What do you want from me? He says, I do not have a place I call home.
That's fair. I just want to know how you ended up here. What were the circumstances that led up to your finding yourself in this mirror?
Give me a persuasion check.
We're gonna use one of these bad boys. No, we're not, because I don't have any. What did I use them on?
Probably the fight.
Oh yeah, I used them on the fucking Constitution saving throws. Son of a bitch. Okay.
Did you not get a long rest as well?
I didn't know these are inspirations. Oh, however, I forgot. I'm level 11 now. Okay, you said persuasion?
Yes.
Woo.
So he considers you a moment. He says, I have been doing work that put me in contention with the forces of the Shadowlords. And they, unfortunately for me, got the drop on me, which ended with me being stuck in here. They are crafty, and I will give them credit for tricking me.
Very well.
But you,
Well, then it
you
seems
see our initial concern. Our initial concern is your
let's
company.
do Remy first. What are you saying, Remy?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I have a curious question, Little Gnome.
He says
Do
little
you
again.
know?
Say little again, I swear to God.
Petite, fortified small person. Do you have the ability to move this group you see here from this plane back to the material plane?
He says, I can't do anything from within here.
I think we both know what I'm talking about. Yes?
Give me a moment. Let me check something. Let's see. Can I do that? He says... Possibly. I need a certain component to do so. Magic-wise, yes, I can open gates, but it requires very special components to do so.
And what would those be?
He says, I need a very precious diamond, which most likely was taken from me. I don't think I still have it. And what else do I need? Yeah, I think I just need the diamond. I thought there was a tuning fork, but that might be a different spell. Yeah.
As of now, we don't currently have any other ideas for getting off this plane, right?
Not that you would know of, no. Maybe Xerxes can help you, but yeah. He says if you could find the diamond they took from me and get it back to me, I can probably get us back to Gaian.
Ooh, I bet that what's his name? Not the guy we're searching for, Arden. Arden might have a diamond of that value.
potentially.
He says, or it could be hidden somewhere in the fort you're in. He says, I'm guessing if you got to the mirror, that you have taken the fort somehow.
Indeed, we have.
He says, well, If you let me out of here and you find my diamond, I can probably get us back to Gaian.
It seems like we are inching closer and closer to this reality. I do have another question for you, a great wizard, and that would be, well, more of a statement, rather. My companions are also situated against the Shadow Lords, and I am as well by association, but I had no direct conflict with any of them as they did. So it seems to me that if we are in conflict with them and you are as well, perhaps we can be allies. Would you care to disclose more details about the nature of the work that you were doing to oppose them?
Let me check something first. What in particular do you want to know?
Well,
What put me against them?
I guess as much as you care to share, you had mentioned previously that the thing that got you in this position in the first place was the work that you were doing, and that they had somehow uh, bested you in terms of uh, the subterfuge. And so I was just curious about the nature of the work that you were doing when this situation transpired. You said you were working on something at that time.
I had come to the Shadowfell to look into some void energy sources I had sensed with some of my detection magics when I was surprised and captured. It was mostly academic, but I think it was a trap.
Very
Remy
well. So you,
rolls his eyes when he says academic, like really big, but like out of his like eyesight, so he doesn't see it. I'm like standing right above him, but he just rolls it hard.
very well. So you think that perhaps these void energies were made manifest by the Shadow Lord specifically to lure you here so that you could research them and they could capture you then?
He says, No, I don't think it was the Shadow Lord himself. The Shadow Lords have been trapped for quite some time. I don't even know exactly where their prisons are. I believe it was done by his followers, the cult that used to own this place.
Trapped for some time. How long have they been trapped? It seems like perhaps you know a little bit more about this than I do.
He says, I don't know exact time frames, but I know that Shadow Lord Gaivok was trapped during the 12th cycle, close to 1,000 or so years ago, by the Dwarven Empire at the time. I believed his prison did survive the cataclysm, so I'm assuming he's still trapped in one of the ruins.
Very interesting. And you said there are more than one Shadow Lord. How many are there that you are aware of, and are they also still trapped?
He says, I only know of Gaivok. If there are others, I don't know exactly who they are or where they are. But I don't think what summoned me here was Shadow Lord's abilities.
Very well. I'll just take a brief moment during the conversation to look over at Uzlog and give her like an eyebrow, and then I
Yeah,
will.
yeah. At the mention of Gaivok, you would. I mean, she's not very good at hiding
Yeah,
anything. She
yeah,
would
yeah.
definitely be like rigid, but also just looking at like Adelaine, like should I like just not sure what to do.
I'll just then continue the conversation. Man, there was another thing I was going to ask, but I forgot what it was. Oh, okay. Then I'll just say, very well, Aranye. Then, if you are interested in
So
evacuating,
he
oh,
kind of
go ahead.
interrupts you and says, "Wait, do you know something about Gaivok?"
I don't know.
And she sort of now looks back at Uslag. He says, "You gave a weird look just there. Are you hiding something? What's going on?"
I
You
don't know
gave
if
a
I
weird look.
think
He
I
made an
always
he made an insight roll.
Gotcha. Sure. Am I not?
He's looking more at Uslag than you, because I don't think
Okay.
Uslag is very deceptive.
Sure. Sure.
I don't like shadows very much.
Give me
That's
a
all.
give me a deception check. You don't like shadows.
That's true. That's actually
Who
very
does?
true. But
Yeah, but you are still
Oh, come now.
hiding.
Shadows get a bad rep. I love shadows.
He says, "Do you know of Guyvok?"
Is he speaking directly at Uslog?
Yeah, he's looking at Uslog now.
why
Okay.
would I tell you? I don't know you, apparently. I thought I did, but I don't.
He's just looking curiously at you now.
What do
He
you
says,
what do
"Now
you
I'm a
know?
little worried. Is the Shadowlord still trapped? I saw recognition."
Looks just gonna desperately look around for Adeline. Help. No, so she should be, I guess she would say maybe a little.
Maybe a little. What sort of answer is that? Never mind. Can you just get me out of here?
I believe perhaps we can, but I do have one final question before we do so, and that is ultimately simple enough, but perhaps complicated, and that is, can we trust you?
Of course you can trust me. Why wouldn't you be able to trust me?
Do I think I can trust him?
Give
Can
me
I
a...
give some guidance to Lark before he does his check here?
Sure.
Let me just slap that on. Okay. Hot damn.
Sorry, I'm just looking at something real quick. Alright. Seems like you can trust him. He doesn't seem like he has dark intentions or anything.
Okay. Well then, I'll turn to the group and I'll say, he may be a bit strange, but he certainly seems to be quite talented as he claims to be. I, for one, believe him when he says that he does not recognize any one of you or myself. If you have seen this man before, I don't know how I would explain it necessarily, but I'm convinced that he is convinced that he doesn't know you.
My
He
brain.
Maybe it was
seems,
an imposter,
perhaps,
somebody posing as him.
or perhaps the one you met was.
How dare you?
So
He says, "You are a fellow gnome. How could you say such things?"
I'm not saying you're the imposter. I'm saying the people that we met before were imposters.
Well,
They
obviously
tracked
the
you in
other
here. They
one...
were out there.
He says, obviously the other one is the imposter. I am the true Hollow Hand.
Perhaps we'll just have to get you in the same room then and find out.
I kind of like this one better than the last. The other one set a giant lizard guard dog on us. So
Well, with that said, do we think that we can trust him and shall we let him out? I would vote yes.
I think we have two options. One, if we have a little bit of time to wait, is that going to change the outcome of his situation? Is he going to stay in this mirror?
He
And
will stay, yes.
if he's a powerful wizard, we also have an unconscious powerful wizard here. It's possible that they know each other. I don't know how deep wizard circles run, but if we don't feel a certain way before we wait, perhaps we can ask for extra advice.
Says, how many powerful wizards do you know? What are you, Zatain?
Unfortunately, three, actually.
Wait, what did he say?
Nothing. No, he said,
Zatayin.
he says, are you Zation? How do you know so many powerful wizards?
Okay, that's what
uh,
I was
In
just
my
wondering. That's what I
travels,
thought.
I've met strange folk, but I haven't met you. I just know that we have a powerful wizard asleep on the floor, not but a few feet away.
Well, if you let me meet this powerful wizard, perhaps I know him. Maybe we could become friends if I don't.
I think that's certainly a possibility.
What's
can you
his
find
name?
that word for me? Zatai.
I'll hold his name for now. Names hold meaning and importance. Just
This
if
is
you
true.
can be patient with us, then we can be patient with you.
Yes, patience. I'm being patient. Just tell me what needs to be done for me to be released.
Well,
For now,
I'd
it
say
seems
just
like
hold tight.
Yes, indeed.
Give me your most powerful magic item.
I don't have anything.
Well,
And
then I
even
guess
if you
that's a
did,
Bye, Remy.
bus.
even
Give
if you
Remy
did,
the filling for your hand right now.
Right now!
He says, they took all my things. I'm in here. I have nothing.
We'll help
Very
us
well.
Found
find your
ourselves
stuff.
in a similar boat.
Perhaps then we shall put a pin in the conversation, speak with this other friend of ours, and return shortly,
Ah,
if that is agreeable to you.
well, I don't think I.
Wait,
Oh, go ahead.
was no one dragging the body? I assumed someone just was
No.
dragging the body.
No, when you went to touch him before, the crystal kind of knocked you away, so no one was able to touch Xerxes.
And even if we could touch him, I would say that dragging him around is perhaps significantly more disrespectful than we care to be to somebody who is clearly a friend of one of us.
I didn't say I would do it. I was expecting one of you crass ones to have. I have ways that we
Except
could
that we
potentially
are not
carry him.
assholes.
Ah, to my heart, sir. To my very heart.
From your
Like
heart to your mouth.
I
And I put a hand up to my forehead and do a fainting motion with my eyes closed, mouth agape. Oh.
I smirk like I'm irritated, but it's still funny. Like, you fucking guy.
Haranya says, awkward. No, just kidding. He doesn't say anything.
Did I say I was proficient in performance? Because I am.
So I am to sit here while you decide? Fine. I will sit here and wait. What's another 20 years?
It shall not be that long. Or, if it is, you can suppose the answer is no.
Ugh. He just sits down and pouts.
I appreciate your time, and I will flick the mirrors to like an empty cell.
And no, I'll just say before it's closed, if this is something to shut down, that if you're trapped against your will by evil means, I give you my word that I will let you out.
He says, I am
But-
trapped against my will. Why do you think I'm
not.
still in here?
Well, for sure, but consider my perspective. Give me time, give us time, we'll come back. It's okay.
That's what you said last time, but fine.
We're back.
And we
Right.
did.
Alright, so
Once I
you switched to a shattered one, I assume.
Yep, that'll be fine.
It's like we'll just like let out her breath, like.
Once we have flicked to the shattered one, I'll turn to Rune, and I'll say, Rune, one quick question, potentially before others. When you were in your cell, were you able to see things or hear things when your cell was not in focus?
Says, no, it reminded me of the chamber of Lady Swordwraith. It was just misty all around, but instead of it turning into a chamber, it was just always misty. I could see nothing. I could walk, but I got nowhere, so I just basically sat in one spot and waited.
Very well, then. It seems there's no reason to move about to get out of earshot. I believe that Master Hollowhand cannot currently hear us.
No, once the mirror cell is changed, it is completely quiet.
Very well. So, I think there are a few things to unpack here. First and foremost, he is very much under the impression that the Shadowlord Gaivok remains imprisoned, and two, he has never heard of the Shadowlord Malak at all. So, either he has been in there for quite some time, or he has some sort of alternate perception of time. Because I believe that you said that you had met this individual after you defeated Shadowlord Malak, is that correct?
Shortly before.
Shortly before.
Yeah.
And did you mention the Shadowlords to him at that time?
My memory of the situation was a little fuzzy because I mostly just.
It's been a while.
Quince did the talking. But I think she might have mentioned Gaivok at least. Not
Do you
sure.
think it's possible that the first hollow hand you met was in fact an imposter, and this one has been trapped for quite some time?
It's starting to seem that way.
Certainly could be. Well then,
That actually sounds like the most.
the most logical.
We should ask him. I mean, he has to have some sort of concept of time, right?
Yeah,
He's a
roughly
wizard. He's a smart guy.
how long ago would you have met the other potential wizard?
How long ago was that?
Yeah.
Roughly.
Lou? About how long ago?
It was. Let's see.
Shortly after we arrived in Issyk, and we had been to the cathedral.
Yeah, it was probably about maybe 30 plus days ago, so a month or so ago.
Yeah,
believe.
let's ask him how long he's been in there.
Follow up then. Why would somebody feel the need to impose an imposter?
Or who knew? Who knew?
It seems
The only reason
a man with this sort of access to magic probably has many connections, and probably not all of them are to his benefit. So perhaps whoever has chosen to imposter him
had something to do with his disappearance,
or just doesn't fucking like him. But yeah, certainly one way or the other.
That's the thing, though. 30 days isn't long enough for like.
Perhaps this imposter has been posing as Hollow Hand for
centuries.
Yeah, centuries or years, or who knows how long. Perhaps there's more than one. There's no way to know. Sorry.
I'm just concerned about the company he keeps. Not that it's his choice, but this mirror is full of dark and dangerous beings. However, there seems to be one that doesn't fit the type. It feels like we don't know the full story. Well, obviously we don't, but...
Well, there is the second
it.
one, Rune says. There's that Shadow Kai in there as well.
And we did release the other girl who assisted us.
Indeed. Yeah. I would say that it's not necessarily creatures which are inherently dangerous or evil which are trapped in here, but creatures which are inherently problems for this group of Sharakai. I don't think they necessarily need to be bad for them to end up here. I think they just have to be a problem.
Would anyone happen to know if the creatures inside this mirror are aware of the other creatures? Or are they very separate in their cells?
I don't think. We certainly didn't tell them.
I was not aware of any of the others while I was in there, Rune says. I had no way of contacting them.
But you
can I tell anything about how long he's been in there based off of like how his clothes or anything, just being a fellow gnome?
So Rune would tell you that while you're in there, from what I could tell, you don't need food or sleep, or you do not age either. It's like suspended animation.
So are his clothes something that people wore 20 years ago, or 50 years ago, or 100 years ago? Can I tell that?
The style? The style is actually closer to your time period.
Clothing not evolve over time?
Oh yeah, it does, but the style is more close to the 13th cycle, which is your time period. Same as the other Hollow Hand that you met, or that Uslag met.
Someone... Excellent. I'm fashion. 2 thumbs up. Can someone ask him just how long he's been in here? Yeah.
We certainly could. I would say that perhaps that is a question we can ask him when we come back after having our conversation with Karash's friend.
Should we tell him about Ivok?
Karash's friend or Hollow Hand?
Hollow Hand. Karash's friend seems cool.
I think that I think it should be known that if we decide to let him out, then yes, there is perhaps no good way to avoid that conversation, and the truth will come out sooner rather than later, and it would be better, to be honest. If we intend to leave him here, then I would say sharing that information with him is not necessarily beneficial.
Right.
But at this point, I am inclined to trust the man. But I would much rather speak to Karash's friend first.
Good deal.
Grand flip.
All right, so where's the group headed next?
I believe we're heading back to the room.
Crystal Lizard.
Yeah, with Xerxes or whatever his name is.
Check on him. See if
Yep.
he's awake.
All right,
And
so
while we're over there, I think that Rune can probably do some identification rituals.
Yeah, so she is still very tired, because I think when you put her in there, she was already wounded and
Yeah.
exhausted.
Oh yeah, she was like on the brink.
Yeah. So it's probably about 8 a.m. at this point. She says, I would really like to sleep, but I guess I could do some identifies before I do that. What do you wish me to identify?
Well, first and foremost, I would love it if we could identify the amulet which Lady Kindrel is wearing. We don't know much about it. She has already made the decision to attune to it, I think owing perhaps to the fact that we were at that time about to fight the Nightwalker and she hoped it might be of some benefit. So she is already attuned to the thing, and in that attunement has discovered nothing about it.
Alright, so she takes the amulet. She would spend 10 minutes and say, this is an amulet of proof against detection and location. It hides one from scrying spells.
Very well. We did also find a couple of other things which we know to have at least some sort of magical benefit in that they are magical weapons and armor, but we do not know if they have any sort of other effects on them. Specifically, I believe Mr. Chomsky has a light crossbow that we found, and we know that it has an enhancement, but we are unsure if it has any other enhancement on it.
Let's see. Yeah, I can take a look at that, she says.
Thank you.
And this was the +1 one? Or was
Yeah,
that
it
plus
was-
2 one?
There's a light crossbow +1 that we found in this room down here.
Alright, so she would look at it and say, this is indeed a light crossbow +1. I didn't see anything else on it.
Cool.
Very well.
Thank you.
I believe our friend Rami has discovered a breastplate which we know to be magical, but we do not know if it also has any sort of other incantations on it.
So she will take another 10 minutes to look at the breastplate, and she will say, this is... Da-da-da.
Party. Hey.
Who's there?
Hey,
Hey,
Hello.
welcome.
what's going on?
Hello.
We are identifying a breastplate at the
Yep.
moment.
Got
The-
Rune back.
Yep, the short run of it is we woke up, or we finished a rest. Homie is still unconscious. We heard from Xeris and Quince that the fort is secure. We went back to the mirror, spoke to Rune, got Rune out. Rune is still wicked tired. Spoke to Hollowhand for a good long while about why he should come out, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I should. I'm cool." Blah blah blah. And we were like, "Yeah, maybe. Let's go talk to our other wizard friend though, first." And he was like, "Excuse me, what? You have another wizard friend?" And we were like, "Bye." So then we came back to.
Oh yeah. Well.
And
yeah.
we're Rune is identifying some things for us. Your amulet is an amulet of proof against detection and location.
Okay.
So the breastplate is a breastplate +1, but it does have a secret ability. With a command word, you can turn it into regular clothing and back.
Nice.
Nice.
That's-
Nice.
But you do have
awesome.
to attune
No.
to it to get that ability.
You do have to pick a silly command word. It's a weird rule.
So I'm not attuned.
It's basically
I'm not
poofy pants and elven.
I'm not attuned to it.
Yeah,
I'm
if
not
you,
attuned to it after last night. After sleeping with it.
well, you can. It's your choice. You haven't. You don't have to attune to it to get the +1, but if you want the other ability, you have to be attuned to it.
Yeah,
I don't.
totally. I don't have.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't know if you had already or not because I don't think that we knew that it did anything else.
Yeah, so you probably weren't attuned to it yet. But you can choose to do so. It just takes an hour.
Was
Okay,
the amulet of non-detection attuned as well?
You did attune to that. You were like, because I think that was actually before we started the fight. I think that actually might have been you and not me. But that was the one that you chose to attune to after I looked at it, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm not fucking with that. And you were like, I'll attune to it.
Yes, I
Uh,
recall.
So
Yes,
just
that
FYI, using the command word does take an action to turn it into clothing and back into armor.
Okay.
Yeah. So it takes a little bit of concentration as well as the tune word, as well as the word. But yeah. Anything else you wish me to identify? Rune says.
I do believe that we have this set of dark studded leather that Chomsky has, and I believe that we know that it is also magical, perhaps, but we are unsure if it has any sort of additional effects.
Studded leather, you say?
Indeed.
Let me take a look at that. And she's like, I am definitely going to take a nap after this, though.
I
While
appreciate
you're
your
thinking about
urgency.
that, there is a wizard in a mirror by the name of Blah. Do you know him?
Hmm?
But this is Rune. She already knew.
But she
Oh,
did not
Oh,
know who that was.
no, no. I thought we woke up the.
No,
This is Rune doing
this
this.
is
Oh,
Rune.
I'm
this is
sorry.
Rune. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Xerxes is still asleep. So she says, yes, this is magical studded leather, and it has the ability to give necrotic resistance if you attune to it.
It's very handy.
But it doesn't have extra AC, I don't think.
Very well.
Awesome.
So
Thank you.
it's just resistance to necrotic if you attune to it.
One last thing I need you to identify, Rune. What is the best flavor of cookie?
Oh, that's easy. Chocolate chip.
Okay.
Or you
Thank
can
you.
also identify this glaive.
I don't need an identifier
Ah,
for that.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, wait, there's a glaive?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
let
works
me...
pretty well.
Did you do the crossbow as well?
We did. It's just a
yes.
+1.
So she looks at the glaive. And you had determined it was a +1 with your tests,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Alright. So she looks at it. She says, oh, this is an interesting one. I haven't seen one of these in a while. It, as you have said, it is a +1 glaive, but it also has the ability with a command word to shrink down and be very small, that you could put it in your pocket.
A
It can
pocket.
become a letter opener.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. But it is another
cool.
attunement thing. So to use that
I love
ability, you have to be attuned to it. Basically weighs nothing when you do that, and you can just store it in like your pocket and use a interaction to pull it out, so you can hide it.
Elf.
And Uslog,
That's
I
it.
believe that sword you're carrying was also found here in the fort. Is that correct?
Yeah, but it did belong to Xeris before. As one, I believe it was the one that was given to me.
Yeah, the one you found was Xeris's.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't think
carrying
it had-
Sunfang right now, right?
Yeah, she dropped it on the ground and
Yes.
was like basically walked
Yeah.
away from it, and you're like, "Ooh, that's
Yeah.
there's
I
some
don't know if
baggage."
Uslog would have noticed you do that or not, but
I put it in the bag of holding. I'm going to take off the amulet of non-detection, and I'm going to ask, is anyone concerned about being found? Because this isn't something that I need. In fact, if anything, I need to be found.
Well, in fact, I think
I look at Remy.
Remy is looking at the amulet.
Well, I'm not surprised he left it here. This is a very situational item. Most likely Relic had it in case he needed it. Rune says.
I'm looking at Lark because he started to speak.
I'd say that at the exact moment, I don't necessarily need it, but something like that could very much come in handy if we ever did need a clandestine functionality. And I believe that amongst the group, well, I'm actually not the best at sneaking around unseen, but something like that could come in handy if we ever did need to do so. It wouldn't necessarily
Ravage
make you
is-
any sneakier, but it would make it hard for somebody to find you with magic if that was the issue.
Indeed. I'll put it in the bag of holding for now, unless Remy, did you want to carry it?
You seem quite eager there, friend.
Who wouldn't like better than to be able to shield themselves from prying eyes? I would love it, and I'll hold my hand out.
But
You have slot for
remember,
it?
it does require attunement, Rune would say.
Yeah. Yep.
Very
We can
good.
attune up to 3 things, is that correct?
Yes,
Correct.
unless you're an artificer. Higher level, they can do more.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just putting it all into the treasure, party treasure. So Chomsky has the light crossbow +1. Ustak has the
And magic
sword
studded
+2.
bender.
So if they're taking it, just give it to them. You don't have to put it in the treasury unless you're carrying it
To keep
separately.
track of it in the party treasury when people are carrying it, just so we can keep track of who got what loot.
Alright.
There you go.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as, because I've had some issues
long as we
with,
don't
like,
duplicate
duplications.
items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says magical items party is carrying in the
Nice.
thing, so.
Alright,
That's a good
so,
way.
We have separate sections.
sure.
Yes.
Alright,
Oh,
so...
also, Lark now has goggles on his face.
Oh.
I can see better.
Alright.
Alright, so yeah, what is the group doing? It's probably about 8:30 at the moment, or no, it's probably closer to 9 with all those identifies. Rune is
Should
going
we,
to just lay down on the bed in here and pass out, unless anyone has objection. Or actually, I guess she doesn't even have to sleep. She just goes into defrag mode and tries to rest a bit.
So it seems that the danger from the Nightwalker has passed, but we do know that Arden Relic left before all this happened, and he may be on his way back at some point, so I don't think we should get too comfortable.
Perhaps not,
Right.
but we do know that the others, your friends, Zaris and Quince and their allies, have secured the fort. So if Arden Relic is to make a re-entrance, he will have to do so by teleportation magics, which certainly he could do. But if he does not, I am sure that we will know about it. Not that I'm suggesting we should stay here over long, but at the moment, we do have to wait for our new wizard friend to wake up, and then we also have to attend to the matter of Aranye Hollowhand.
Should we go check out Arden, try to find Arden's secret armory?
If he even has one, yes. I would say that as long as we're waiting for Xerxes to wake up, we might as well take a closer look at every nook and cranny that we can.
Agreed. We might be able to find more of the things that we had in the bag of holding as well. Some of the gold and the resources.
Indeed.
Alright,
Yeah, let's just start clearing
you
clearing
want to
the level.
start looking around?
Yeah.
You gonna look around more on this level? Do you want to go downstairs? Do you want to go upstairs? Where are you starting?
Guess we should start where we are and then work our way.
Alright, so...
I'm curious about the basement. I'd like to go down before we go back up.
Probably
agree.
missing things up on the floor.
I feel like Remy doesn't want to go down to the basement.
Alright, so
That's not
you're...
true. I'm fine.
So,
Alright.
Oh, hey, Lou.
yeah.
Sorry. I apologize because I wasn't here, but did we look at the scrolls in the scroll cases? There were 3 ivory scroll cases that had unidentified scrolls in them.
We did not look at those yet. We
And
certainly
did we
could have.
identify the 11 potions?
Nope.
Was that not part of the restoration spells, or is that something separate?
There
Were
was
those
more.
restorations? I think there were
No.
more.
Yeah, we did not. I thought about asking Rune to do those, but she was pretty exhausted, so I thought it was more prudent to have her take a look at the things that we already were curious about. Not that we're not
If
curious about.
I stay, well, I shouldn't stay behind. I was gonna say if I stay behind and focus on identifying those potions, I bet I could, but I
You
feel
had,
like I might
you had
miss.
11 unidentified potions?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Quite a few.
Alright, let me look through my notes. Are these all from here, or are there some from other
Yeah,
places?
they're all
Everything
from.
we have is from here because we had nothing. We started
They're,
with nothing.
they are all from the fort. I don't believe that they were all from like the same rooms, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Between the chemistry lab or the science whatever lab and then Arden's office had a bunch of
So,
runes.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was
I want
Arden.
to say
Those were from Arden's office because we had identified radiant resistance, greater healing, fire resistance, and spider climbing, and those scrolls before the other scrolls.
Yeah,
so. We didn't have anything that was unidentified before we got to his office.
I don't think so.
that sounds about right.
Alright, so how many unidentified do you have?
11 unidentified potions and 3 scroll cases unidentified.
So,
And as
I
a note-
only have 7 potions I'm seeing. Where did
I
the others
I want to
come
say
from?
that I thought that some of them
And this is...
came from his office, and I thought some of them had come from this room down here. And I want to say that perhaps there were even some before that in the room with all the crates and stuff,
That could
which I
be.
think was before my time.
Alright.
Yeah, that could be.
I can't see the crates, but I think it was
I
this
know
room.
we identified a couple on a short rest, but just a couple.
Alright, so which ones
Yeah.
did you identify so far? You said fire resistance, what else?
Fire resistance, radiant resistance, and 1 greater healing potion were the ones that we had, and spider climb that we had identified.
Fire resistance, radiant resistance, you said spider climb, and what else?
Greater healing.
Okay, so that's
Which
one
would
of
make for
those.
seven afterwards if we're going with the full 11.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yes.
hang on, let me
The math checks out.
Also, as a note, Karash would take a look around and silently judge everybody that didn't think that peanut butter cookies were the best cookies. By the way.
I mean, if he's silently judging me, I don't have a way to know it. But if he says something, I'll definitely we'll have a chat about cookies.
And throw it out.
He's a gentleman and he doesn't like to make people uncomfortable.
Alright,
But
give me a moment to try to
He doesn't like
consolidate.
being the
it
elephant in
pinged
the
him.
room.
It pinged him stronger than he anticipated it would.
He was like,
Did you just say elephant in the room? Because that's great.
Wah, wah.
"Wah, wah."
It might be the second time I've said it.
It is, in fact, the second time he said it tonight.
Well, I'm glad you
That
repeated
joke-
it while I was here. I
That joke
appreciate that.
will get old in about 30 minutes, but I'm
Oh,
gonna,
that's never gonna
Nope,
get old.
nope.
I'm gonna
nope,
write it. I'm gonna
nope.
write it to death.
Oh, you also missed some pretty spicy interactions. Well, not spicy, salty interactions between Lark and Remy, but that's just par for the course.
Uh-huh. It's a little salty.
Yeah, that's just all. That's pretty bad.
That just is what it is.
I'm here for it though.
Yeah.
Oh, Remy loves it. He feeds off of it.
Also appears to. I don't know if love is the right word, but he's something.
Yeah, it was weird. Remy found this broom and then we made a campfire out of it.
Son
so
of a
we
bitch.
just-
Too soon. Too soon.
Matt, you know
let's
I'm
see,
coming after
1,
Chomp's gonna make me a
5,
broom.
6.
Just so you know.
So yeah.
Is that
I gotta
on the
figure out
list
what level-
later?
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
check that out. Actually.
I mean, I've been reading some Da Vinci manuals. I'll let you know when I translate them.
So question. You already...
Yeah.
So there was nothing else unidentified, right? I'm just looking
Just
through
the
some of my
scrolls and the
notes.
potions.
Scrolls and the potions. Alright.
That's all I have in the notes.
Yep, I believe that's correct.
Alright, I'm gonna go back even farther. Where are these potions coming from? I'm gonna try to see.
I
No.
think that I think that they all came from because I remember well.
So,
I don't-
well,
I
here's
don't know.
so okay. This is what I have. I have the identified as the fire, radiant, spider climb, and 1 greater. Unidentified, I have 4, 5, 6 so far that I found in my notes.
It could be that
Possible that
I
I
think we had
wouldn't
two,
change the 11 to 7 after we identified 4 of them.
Okay.
and I think that we had. It might have been. Do we have 2? I think we had 2 greater restorations. Did we already have 1, or do we identify 2? Because we definitely used
were-
2.
Yeah,
There were
you.
two that we used
I think there
for-
was 2. Yeah, because unless one of them. Yeah, I think those were.
we
known.
debated about keeping one of them just in
Yeah.
case, but we decided to use both of them
Alright.
to
Yep.
eliminate the 3.
So let's just say you have 6 unidentified to make this a little easier, because I'm.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and the 3 scrolls, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you gonna read the scrolls and see what's on there?
We'll have
Think
Rune
that-
check them out.
Rune's kind of resting at this point, but do you
She's
want
just
to?
been sitting in a box for the last 48 hours.
Yeah, but she was very wounded when you put her in there.
Yeah, there's
Remember,
no. You're
she
in
can't-
stasis when you're in
She
there. There's
can't
no
heal
resting.
while she's in there. Yeah. So I mean, you can actually just read the scrolls. You don't have to identify those. It's just there's a chance they're cursed.
What if we read them?
Well,
Don't we
that's
set it
a-
off?
Yes, you would set it off.
That's a heavy thing to add.
Yeah, I don't.
No, we want to identify them.
Identifying
Maybe
them
Chomsky
is
can have a
the.
look at his Arcana.
But they could also be cursed and have a fake aura on them as well. So there's a chance they can hide them. But that's less likely. Usually cursed scrolls you can just see with identify. Only the truly like dick troll wizard puts like a cursed scroll and then hides its, because that's a lot of work to do and he'd be spending a lot of resources.
I feel like this is foreshadowing.
And yet here we are.
I don't think you guys have
Y'all.
ever opened a cursed scroll yet even.
Yet.
Yet.
The fact that you're bringing it up, though, is a little disturbing.
Alright, so we're waiting on the scrolls. That's fine. I'll just mark
No,
them
no,
down.
Chomsky's going to have a
Okay.
look at his
I
Arcana.
use Arcana. Yeah. that work?
Arcana wouldn't identify
Back
them.
away from Chomsky.
Or
you-
not. Don't they say across the top?
No, that's what he's saying. He's saying you could read them,
Yeah,
but
you
if
can-
you read them with Arcana and they're cursed, you will be cursed.
Yes.
Well, if you read them, you set off the scroll.
you don't.
No,
So we don't-
Would I
you can read a scroll without casting it. That's
Oh.
you can read the title. You
Not
have to
not like reading it out loud.
you have to
Just-
make a conscious choice to use the scroll.
Well,
Would a
let's-
cursed scroll
we'll read the
have a
scrolls,
different magic type?
Yeah.
If I use detect magic and focused on it to see what type of magic it is, make sure that lines up with what the scroll says.
Well,
It's,
once you so you can look at the aura on the scroll, but once you open the scroll to read it, that's what usually would set a curse off, even if you're not using it.
I'm going to open the damn scrolls.
All right, you're opening the scrolls. Give me a D10 roll.
Such an ass.
I mean, I don't know why we just didn't wait.
So the first scroll is a what's it called? Not spectral force. The other one, the first level. What's that illusion spell?
Phantasmal?
Phantasmic.
No, that's the other one. What's it called? Silent image.
Oh.
Silent image, I believe.
Silent.
Yeah, it's the first level illusion spell.
That's what Remy plays with.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you can do for free. So second scroll, give me another D10 roll.
Why does this scroll say that it's a combination of gold and boron? That's strange.
Hey,
Hey. So the second one is a spell scroll for the spell banishment.
Oh
Ooh.
shit.
Oh, that's store that one away.
Okay.
If
One more.
I can ask
Yeah.
my new friends, is that a scroll that I could potentially hang on to? Would anyone have any objections to that? It's rather fitting for
It's either you or
my
Remy.
skill set.
is it a
Yeah,
scroll
you
that
can
you can
cast
actually use?
Yeah, can you cast it?
I can use any scroll theoretically.
You can only use scrolls for spells that are in your spell list.
Oh, is that the case? I thought you could do
Yes.
that for any scroll.
You-
Like a
so
cleric could read a magic missile, correct?
no, only if that cleric has like a deity that gave him magic missile as a usable spell. What you can do is use spells that are higher level than you can cast, but those require a caster check. But yeah, to use a scroll, you have to normally... You don't have to possess that spell, but you have to have the potential to be able to learn it or use it. So, like, wizards can only use wizard. Yeah, like, what's it called? Artificers can only use artificer scrolls, etc.
And it's actually probably not a good case, especially because I think it's a 4th level spell, correct?
It
Yeah.
is 4th
Yeah.
level, and it's cleric, sorcerer, warlock, wizard, paladin.
So in character, I would still like it, but out of character, it would be not that great for me.
Okay, so in character, I'll say, I'm not sure if you can cast it, but you can have a look at it, and I'll hand it over to you.
Oh, wow. So the third scroll is Maze.
Oh shit!
I have no idea what that is.
Nope.
It's
But I love it.
Really good.
it's awesome.
So,
We'll see if it comes up in game.
I'm imagining there's like
Fortunately,
minotaurs.
that's
Minotaur,
wizard only,
yeah.
kids.
Yeah,
Well,
those things
Minotaurs
involved.
are immune to maze. Minotaurs are
Oh,
immune to
okay.
Which
maze.
is like the weirdest
So it's not like you get
thing
locked
ever.
in one.
No,
You
it's,
are-
it's
you are.
exactly like that.
Oh,
You go to an
okay.
extra dimensional maze, and you're trapped in it for. And I think you can make a Wisdom saving throw to come back to this plane or something. But yeah, at least that's
Fun
what it is
times.
in Pathfinder.
Yeah, so those are the 3 spells in there.
Okay, so I will tuck Silent
Those
Image
are-
into my pocket. I mean, into the
Um,
building.
I will trade you. I mean, I don't mean to be but I can cast that spell that you're using as a paper airplane.
Are you talking to Koresh
you
or me?
you
Koresh.
severely
Okay.
you severely overestimate my paper airplane spells. Have you seen my paws? Dexterous. It's not my main component. However, you can take this, but I'd like to either 1, receive something of value from you, or 2,
Here's the Amulet of Non-Detection.
well, I don't necessarily need that. Second question. Why do you prefer death over life? If you can answer me that, I'll give you this scroll.
You see, that's an easy one for me because I prefer neither. I prefer riding the line in between it, tasting a little bit of both, holding one hand in one and the other in the other, gliding along the plane between the two.
I roll
Truly,
my
it's the most
eyes.
exhilarating time.
I roll my eyes and I
Man.
like scoff and start walking away and mumble under my breath. Fucking
And I
batshit
ho-
crazy fucking young kids. Fucking
And I hold my hand out and I
dumbest
say,
shit I ever
"Scroll,
heard."
please."
You trace your neck along death's scythe. I don't recommend that practice, but I admire your courage, so please,
Where else
for your
do you
honest
get
answer,
your
take
actual will
the
to live?
scroll.
You hear Lark down the hallway, just getting quieter, and he says, "What is this, a fucking poetry slam?"
Some of us
It's about
cannot
to be.
appreciate the finer arts.
So wait,
Don't
which
worry about what we see.
which
We're
scroll are
gonna
you
take
giving him?
these trades as they are. The banishment scroll.
Banishment. Okay.
Do you want the Amulet of Non-Detection?
No. Actually, I don't.
Okay.
Rune says, I could probably... Well, actually, can she scribe banishment?
Of course, now she's awake after we
You could
read the
scribe
thing.
me.
Hey, she is a Warforged. She can rest by just defragging her hard drives. She can be conscious.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, she doesn't have... She rests weird, but she just can't do it while she's in the prison. So she says, I can scribe that into my spellbook if you want it to be used more than once.
By all means.
Let's hang on to it for now, though.
What? Oh yeah. What?
We'll hang on to it for now. Would you like me to put it back in the bag of holding, or are you going to hold on to it, Remy?
I have plenty of other means. I don't mind holding on to it if I don't plan on using it for any reason, but I can if we come in the situation.
If you don't plan on
game.
using it, I don't think you need to have it.
Is
If-
Rune a character that continuously comes up, or is she kind of a one-off? Like,
Rune was a PC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
she's gone
going
for a
away
little
after
bit, though.
this, So.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll just hold on to it. I'll say, Rune, thank you. I do plan on using it, and then I look over in the direction of Lark.
All right.
Uh, yeah.
So, yeah. What else is the group up to?
I believe we're just waiting for Xerxes to wake up.
All right.
Well, we
I'm
still can
gonna cast
explore.
locate object.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm casting locate object, and I'm looking for broom of flying.
Can you link locate object?
Yes, I can.
Arden Relic is
She had this
just
ready. She had this
like,
ready pre-game.
flying all
Even
over
if
the
you weren't here.
Shadowfell, laughing. Yay! Let's see. Direction. is-
Then I'm gonna start prowling around.
So,
Darcy, have you read The Weird Sisters by Terry Pratchett? Because you would absolutely love it. By the way,
No, I don't think I have actually.
Discworld series. It's like the third book. Fantastic. You don't have to read it in order. But The Weird
so
Sisters.
the object is not within 1,000 feet. So you might guess it's possibly not in this keep.
I'm sorry to hear about your broom, lady.
Well, it's really useful, Maddie. I mean, Lark. It's something that I am. It makes me very, very useful in battle and able to get to people.
I know it is, but you're already useful, and I believe that you will be without it as well.
Right. Still,
Uh,
quite tight.
so it looks like Xerxes might be out for a while. You could just wait here and I could pass time, but you could also do other things. It's up to you.
So if it looks like he's in sort of like this, sort of protected environment as he is, then
Yeah, and there are still some of Uslog's people standing guard over here, as you asked them to.
Very well. Okay. In that case, because would we? Oh yeah, there was some talks of rights.
Well,
Did Uslog's people already take the other ashes downstairs?
Yes,
Or
the
wherever
ones
they were
that you didn't take, they took downstairs.
Right. Okay.
I don't want to take a lot of time with it, but if we could explore that basement as well, possibly do like kind of a passive sweep.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, we had
Alright.
gold and gems and reagents and all sorts of
Oh,
stuff.
actually, yeah, that's right. I forgot we were going to start doing a sweep of this level even, but that was, and then we decided to finish identifying these scrolls and shit first. So I think now we're just sort of like combing over the place,
Yeah,
every
there's
nook and cranny that we can.
that.
All right.
yours.
So give me a moment for something.
For something.
What were we gonna
Maybe
say,
I
Harlan?
can ritually cast detect magic, and just while we're wandering around to see if I detect anything unusual.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna have you just like walk through this place again. I can kind of fast track this, especially since most of the dangers are gone at this point. So you're gonna. I just need to know which level you're starting on.
I think we're going to start on this one, and we're
This one?
basically going to go. Yeah, we're going to go from where we are back to. Let's see, it's pretty straightforward, right? Yeah, I would imagine that we'll once we get to this intersection down here, or over here, then we'll explore the south branch, and then come back up
Alright.
through the little.
So
And then come back up and over.
let me go through what you find. So I think a lot of these rooms you've looted already. The room here, there's a lot of weapons. I don't know. It looks like most of the ones still here are just normal ones. If anyone's looking for normal weaponry, you can find a lot of different weapons here. Otherwise, you can move on.
Yeah, if I know we did go through some of the rooms, but at the time we thought we were going to find our bag of holding intact, so we didn't take things like rope and vials and stuff like that. So if you could
Right.
be explicit, it would be good.
So
So you
there's
said
no,
there's
no
there's
rope
any
or vials. Basically,
Can
in this
I
room,
grab a warhammer?
yeah,
any like mundane weapon?
So yeah, you could find a warhammer. There's a
Thank
Shadowfell
you.
warhammer, which is kind of just a regular warhammer, but the steel is kind of darkened, so it doesn't look as as shiny as steel might look. There are some armors here, which are also,
Ooh.
I think one of them, or sorry, there's one armor because one of them I believe was
The
the
breastplate.
yeah one oh actually wait, one of them was the breastplate and I think the other one was the studded leather. So never mind, those you took already.
Well, the studded leather that we have is
That
the
came from
one.
another room.
Yeah, it was the one that
Oh,
was
you got that
found.
from the okay, right.
Yep. So if this studded leather in here is nifty.
So this studded leather is, or actually no, this one wasn't studded leather. Sorry, let me confirm with my notes. This one was, I think, a set of chainmail, but you don't think it's magical. It's just
Right.
chainmail.
Okay.
Could I pick that up?
Yeah, if you want chainmail. So
Ooh,
you
I
can.
don't think. Uh, I might have Carl carry it.
There are
Oh yeah.
also a bunch of looks like ingots next to the furnace that could possibly be used for crafting.
What is the metal?
It's just basically like steel, but dark steel from the Shadowfell.
Can I ask Carl to pick those up?
I can put them in the bag of holding if you like.
Oh, that would be awesome.
So
If there are, I'm just gonna say, if there are raw materials for crafting, that's something that I would be very interested in taking.
so
Like not right now. It's just in general.
there's about 1,000 gold pieces worth of steel, but it weighs about 200 pounds,
Ooh.
so it's pretty heavy.
Thankfully, I have powerful build and can carry quite a bit at the moment.
All right.
Yes.
I
Well,
fucking love it.
So between Carl,
yeah, whoever wants to
The
take
bag of
it can
holding
take
can
it.
hold 500 pounds, and we have almost nothing in it.
Well, that's true because it is empty when we found it, or when you found it.
and we could figure out how to drop things later.
Okay.
So I'll put 1,000 gold worth of dark steel, 200 pounds, into the bag of holding for now.
Okay.
And then, if and when the bag of holding is getting too heavy, we can move those out.
Cool.
It'll just break.
Out of game, what's the carry capacity for a large creature? Do you know that offhand?
I can look it up.
Yeah, I know normal carry capacity I think is 15 times your strength. So I'm not sure
I
what
think
that.
I think for a large, it's 30 times strength then, because I know that when it comes to mounts, it's just doubled.
Okay. So the next room you come to is the lab, though this one has pretty much been looted. There's the different stations that could be used for crafting, but I am pretty sure that you got all the stuff in here. It was mostly just components and stuff. Oh, one thing you might note, however, is that one of the tables, which I think you may have not noticed this before because you were in a hurry, is partially into some sort of magical weapon creation.
Oh, like something's in progress.
Yeah, so
Can
you
I
think there's
walk over there and
probably
see what it
about.
is?
So there's an enchantment. You think, give me an arcana check.
With guidance.
And is that for anybody who's looking, or just
Yeah, anyone
for
can
Dome
look
because he
at
knows
it.
what he's doing?
Anyone with
Oh,
arcana can look at it. Alright, so Lark. So Gnome, you're not sure exactly what's going on. But Lark, you think this was a weapon enchantment that was in progress. You think there's probably about 2 days left on it to completion, and probably about 1,000 gold pieces of components needed to put a elemental enchantment on a weapon.
Okay. And does it look like is it in its current state? Is there like a specific weapon that it is being is being worked on, or like the enchantment is being created separate of the weapon, and you could then take that enchantment and put it on a
So,
weapon of your choosing.
if you remember, this is, I think, where you found. Wasn't this where? No, never mind. So, if there was a weapon here, it may have been moved. But if you look closely at the table, there's kind of an imprint where there may have been a halberd here at one point.
So do I believe that this enchantment has to be continued, like on the
No,
weapon it was started on, or
you
you could?
think so? You think you can put it on any weapon you want, but the more well made a weapon is, the more likely a weapon is to accept the enchantment. So you
Gotcha.
probably
Okay.
want to use a masterworked or a magical weapon.
Very well. Okay. So I'll look at these things and I'll say, oh, this is very interesting. It reminds me a little bit of some things that I've read about. I believe that this is some sort of enchantment which will imbue a weapon with an element of your choosing. Obviously, the better the weapon, the better the enchantment will hold. Perhaps this is something that, Chomsky, if you are familiar with enchantment process, you might be able to finish. It looks like it could perhaps take a couple of days, but once we do have it finished, we could then apply it to a weapon
So,
for one of our companions.
to quickly interrupt, it looks like there was an ingredient that they were going to use to make it a cold enchantment, Frost Giant's toenail, but it could
Okay.
possibly be combined with a different ingredient to do a different element.
Okay, so then I'll add that as well.
But yeah, there's a Frost Giant's toenail on the on the station ready to be used for
Ready
this.
for the taking.
Would this impact the crafting of it at all? If crafting a common or uncommon takes a quarter of the normal time and costs half as much?
So yes, you
Or would
could.
I
Well,
know that?
probably at this point you'd have to take the 2 days and the 1,000 because this has already started. But you know that's still a lot
Cool.
cheaper than it would be for this enchantment normally.
Cool.
So hearing this from Lark, Koresh would say to Uslag, Uslag, I noticed you dropped a weapon in our fight before. Is this? Do you have something else you could use that would potentially benefit from this?
Yeah, I have lots of weapons. I have so many weapons. It's kind of ridiculous.
Somehow I don't doubt that at all.
Well,
and in
well,
fact, I
I
believe.
asked that. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I asked that because I noticed you looked very longingly at the one that you dropped. It seemed to mean something to you.
Yeah, but no, I won't be using that one anymore. So
Very well. Then, current company considered, I think that the individual who stands to benefit the most from such a weapon is you. I believe that you have the capacity to swing it most often, thus benefiting the most from an enchantment like this one.
I don't know. I'd like to
do
put up
get-
my vote for myself. No, I'm just kidding.
I do like to swing a weapon. Yep.
Indeed.
What about Crash? You use a weapon, right? Did I see the weapon?
Well, I do. I have a little bit extra that pours out of my spirit that helps me, but I would never say no to it. I saw that it hurt you, and I wanted to offer this. Not that it's mine to offer, but just as a recompense.
Oh, thank you. She looks a little bewildered by the gesture.
Well then, it seems like we are more or less in consensus that when we have the time, we shall finish this for Uslog's benefit.
Should we collect it now and put it into the bag of holding for the moment, Chomsky?
I believe that if we move it, we may interrupt the process.
It's a 2-day process.
It is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you do think that you would have to finish the enchantment at this table if you want to use it. You'd have to have 1,000 more gold pieces of components, any type. It doesn't have to be arcane, but you have to have that, and you have to use a trigger item to trap the elemental type that you want to imbue on the weapon.
Does that trigger
Okay,
item
so-
look like it's present?
Yeah, I told you it's the toenail. If
Okay,
you
that's
want
what
to
I
do,
thought. I just
if
wanted to
you
make sure that I understood what
so if you want to do cold, if you have essence, you might be able to try to trigger some other type of element depending on the creature essence.
Sorry, and the 1,000 gold worth of component reagents are here as well?
I bet we could
No,
find him.
no.
Those
I
We
bet.
just got
I think
we just got
they're
1,000 gold versus the that black iron. Can't we use that?
no.
No,
That's
that's not a component.
yeah. Those are for
Oh.
forging weapons. I think you didn't you find a bunch of components here last time when you came through.
200 gold of arcane and 100 of religion.
Yeah, so if there is more, you might need to either make them or find them elsewhere in this place.
Perhaps we could find the materials that we require at the lower levels.
I have a feeling you might be right.
Hopefully, anyway. No guarantees, of course, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
There's never a guarantee, but typically things don't happen by chance, in my experience.
I guess
Alright.
we live here now, huh?
Or everything does. I actually don't know what's the answer.
Shara
Well,
says,
truth be
well,
told,
you did
it
take...
looks like our friend is going to be unconscious for quite some time. There's no telling how long he was in that negative plane. Perhaps his current situation is not likely to resolve itself in the next 2 days anyway, in which case we might have to be here for that long either way.
Well, we did take the fortress, Shara says, so hopefully it will be safe for the time being, at least.
For the
Hopefully
moment,
so.
but don't we... Lou, just remind me briefly, we know that there were some ill effects from being in the Shadowfell for too long, right?
So...
That's a damn good question.
Actually, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've been playing the Shadowfell. Let me see if I can figure that out.
Didn't you say that the effects dropped when the Shadowlord was defeated?
Well, that was the
Or the-
miasma, which is the
I thought
mist
the
that he was creating.
miasma
That was
the
that was the
mist
Night
that
Walker,
was-
but the
Yeah.
Shadowfell does have some
Okay.
effects. Let me
Yeah.
see.
It basically just like makes you depressed as fuck, and then you would die.
Well, that's already working.
So the
It hasn't been
Shadowfell is
very
America.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Shadowfell side effects.
You show up, you go to work, you get sad, you die.
You know, I read stories about people that get into car accidents and die, like Monday morning traffic, and I just can't imagine a worse fate.
Yeah, that would be some rough stuff.
Oh, why does it always send me to house rules? I don't care about house rules.
Let's see.
All right. I think I could trust the Forgotten Realms wiki. Let me see here. I
I
thought
think it's in the. It might actually be in the DMG.
yeah. I was.
There we go.
Let me try Shadowfell DMG.
It's in chapter 2.
Do you have a page?
No, because I'm using D&D Beyond. It's under. Well, here I can just shoot you what I copied. There we go. It's under. Yeah, creating a multiverse, and on D&D Beyond there's a drop down for it.
Gotcha.
I don't know. It doesn't show page numbers.
I'll say that's more out in the plains. You're okay in the fort for now. But
Does
that's
time
interesting.
seem to be normal here, or is it perceived slower, faster, differently by any chance? Would I be able to kind of assess that normally?
So I believe Shadowfell time passage is the same. But let me see if I can take a look at that.
As you do, if we're talking in group, I'll just kind of reiterate and just say that I was sent here as a final mission. I was sent here to die. I came in willingly, so I have no time constraints if we decide to take a little staycation in the Shadowfell for a day or two. That's my perspective.
I similarly came in here by choice, and I don't necessarily have to leave immediately. I do have reports to make, but I make them when they need to be made.
I
So I
didn't
also
think
have
we have
no time
anywhere
to
we need
adjust.
to be.
I quite
Pretty
agree.
badass on a bureaucracy level. You sound like an important person.
Well,
But I'm not as confident as the rest of you that Arden Relic isn't going to return with reinforcements, so we should really be on our guard.
I quite agree. If he does come back, we'll shoot him.
She just
Mm.
chuckles at that.
We also have a pocket full of demons and a mirror that we can always use potentially if things
That-
get too hairy.
I would not consider
Sounds
that
like
an
an
asset
excellent
necessarily.
idea.
Nope.
Love it,
No.
love it, love
Mm.
it. Isn't that what we did with the Nightwalker?
It's kind of what we did with the Nightwalker, yeah.
All right, so I don't
I-
see.
wait.
Sorry to interrupt. I don't see anything here about time passing differently, so it's probably the same.
Well,
Well
we
then.
know where it's at. Shall we continue?
I agree. Let's continue finding what there is to be found, and then once we have the time to put aside for this, then we can.
Yep. Let's continue the world's worst shopping episode.
Da-da-da.
We haven't even gotten to the good parts yet. We got two whole levels to find. There's fucking studded leather plus
Yeah.
3 down there.
Let's get this going.
Okay.
Give me the money.
There's a belt of storm
Guys,
giant
look at
strength
these.
in the basement.
Look at these potions. Nobody has as many identified potions as I do. Lieutenant.
All right. Sorry, I'm just marking down the things you've found so far.
It's interesting.
All right. So you continue looking around. Give me a perception check. Up to, I'll say, you can all make one. We'll see how high you get.
And let's see. Let me confirm my understanding of this.
21.
And I would assume that we're moving fairly slowly as we're making these.
Yeah, so this is a several-hour search of this floor.
Oh yeah. If I'm
Mine's
moving
got the
slowly.
22.
21. 22. You have advantage on your perception.
If I let me link this. B.
28.
So for me, that would be a 24 technically, unless this is based solely on smell, which I don't think it is.
Okay, so I guess it is specific. Well, hidden things. You decided.
So if there's secret
whether or not
doors
it
or
applies.
something, right?
Well, hidden creatures or objects.
Okay. Searching around this place, I'm going to say you take several hours doing this. So it is now probably
That's a
about...
couple net 20s though. It's not bad.
say it's about 2 o'clock when you finish looking
Fucking
around.
28, dear God.
With the 28, you would find a couple of things.
Hell yeah.
So again, that's sorry about it. It's actually a 24, unless
24?
this is smell. This is if this is smell based.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be smell based, so it would be 24.
So
24.
it's a 24.
But I think that's
Still.
still the highest.
That's the winner.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you do find there's a bunch more rations in this room over here. There's about 200 days worth of
Probably smell.
preserved rations, so you can
Yeah,
take
you
as
can
many or as little as you want.
I definitely smell those rations.
Rations is the one thing we got tons of. We have 5 days of rations for 6 already in the bag. Do we need more?
I mean, this is 200. As long as you can fit them in the bag, we'll be good fucking forever.
Well, as many as you want to take, that's up
I'm
to
gonna
you.
do some math. Be back.
We don't
How long
know
will
about
they?
our
That's like
barbarian
40.
friends
No.
either.
It's like
How long will
that's
they
like a
stay?
month.
33 more days of rations for 6.
Nice.
They're preserved, so I think they just last.
Cool.
They're like salted meats and stuff. Over here, you would find another probably 400 or so gold pieces of skins for leather crafting, leather working if you want that.
Chomsky,
I'll
you
put
think
them
you
in
would
my
be able
bag.
to make some magical leather armor with these?
I could absolutely infuse some armor. I'm not the best with leatherworking tools, but I could see what I could do.
Those are
Very
about
well.
80 pounds if you want to take them, or you can just leave them here. It's up to you.
I would say we leave them, unless
I
people
can
want
take them
leather
pretty.
armor.
I can take them pretty easily. I'll take the 80 pounds of skins.
Okay.
I'm not taking all those rations because there's 400 pounds worth of rations.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
rations.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take
can
like
just
10 days
can
worth of
carry
rations.
so
That ought to
much.
get us fine. And
And we know where to find more if we need them.
If we starve to death in 10 days, we've done something wrong.
I can make food and water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, as I said, as little or as there would also be some other general supplies in here if you need ropes, grappling hooks, and just stuff in general. Stuff that you might
Like,
find in the player's handbook.
Like mundane
Yeah.
adventuring supplies.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
if you
Okay.
need
Look at that shit.
tinder or like blankets or tents, anything like that.
So I'm
If
gonna
we want it,
replenish
if we
my
want it, it's in there.
resources. I'm gonna put some rope in the bag of holding, guys. Like maybe.
Okay.
How much should I do?
So if you want max amount, there's about 600 feet. If you want to take it all, or you could take anything up to that.
600 might be excessive.
How much?
Lou is
Oh.
literally trying to make us explode our bag of holding. He's been
Oh, I'm checking it later and be like, oh, 2 pounds over. There goes all your stuff. No,
We
just
just
kidding.
dumped
Maybe.
our 100 feet of rope when we were in Isaac because Rune was hoarding a ton of, and
Let's take 200 feet of silver.
we just got
How
rid
about
of
that?
it.
I'm gonna take 50 feet of rope myself.
There's only hemp rope here. There's no silk rope.
Mhm.
Sorry. Oh, yeah.
I would
You
say
said-
it. You said if it was in there.
Yeah, you said TMG.
No, I'm kidding. I would say at the very least, it perhaps would make sense for each of us to have a 50-foot length that
Excuse
we
me.
don't already. You never know when you're gonna need it, and you don't have access to a bag of holding.
Uh,
Can I
You are
determine
with
if this rope is evil or if it's not?
It just seems like rope to you.
We do have our district method going.
Other than that, the only other thing you find is a secret stash of potions, adding 4 unidentified potions to your growing list of unidentified stuff.
Okay, so you
But
said
now
there
it's a
were...
new list. Wait.
Now we have 11 unidentified potions. Here, I said it.
Wait, didn't we already do the?
No.
Oh no, we didn't do them. That's right.
You have,
Yep.
let's see, 4, 5,
That's-
6.
We just did the
7.
scrolls.
Oh, you said 6, so 10.
Where'd you get out of here?
Yeah, wait. Yeah, 4 unidentified,
say
so
it
yeah,
was-
you have 10 now.
Okay, but I'm sorry, how many feet of rope did you say we had in the room?
600 is the max.
600?
Yeah.
Okay, so 600 is 50 in 50 feet increments is 12, and each of us is going to take 1, so there's 6 skeins of rope left. I'll put 4 extra ones into the bag of holding because hemp rope is twice as heavy.
Very well.
Alright, so that's all you find on this floor.
Okay.
So three other floors potentially, you say?
Yeah, there's the upstairs and there's the first floor, which your allies had kind of been searching, but you haven't been down there
And
yet.
we have the basement. The
And
basement.
And the basement, yeah.
Oh, I
And-
thought this was the basement. I'm sorry.
This is the
No,
second
We
this-
were
floor.
told that Arden's office or Arden's armory was on the floor above us.
Let's go to the.
I was
Wait,
gonna say to the
I
basement
thought
if we can.
I thought the room we were in was his fucking armory.
That was his office.
He has an. That's where all our shit is. I don't.
Yeah.
Does
remember.
he have it?
I think this is the armory that they were
Yeah.
talking about.
I
I
thought
don't.
Arden had a secret storage third floor that somebody had told us about.
They
No.
told you about his secret room over here, which you
Ah.
found, but I don't think
Well,
there's
my
another
mistake. Gnome is crazy. And not the
Gnome is
best
crazy.
listener.
one. Making stuff up. All right,
To the
so
basement.
you want to head downstairs? That's
I
fine. So
believe so.
you go downstairs. There's not really as much a map for this area, but you can search around. It looks like what's their names are there? Xeris and Quince, and they would kind of tell you about the things they already found down here and in the basement. The biggest thing was the treasury, which has 15,000 gold pieces in it. And Quince would
Wow.
say she thinks that part of that was our gold that was in there.
15,000?
Yeah.
Okay,
And she would
so-
lead you to it and show you there's like this kind of vault area that she opened up, and inside there's just a bunch of gold bars and coins and just treasure in general.
So
I don't
this
think
might
we
be a
need those
good-
ingots anymore.
Well, those
this might
those
be a
are
good time
materials.
to just check with the group, but the way that we've been doing distribution of coin is dividing whatever we find by 7. Each person gets one of those portions, and then the last portion goes to the kitty,
Group.
to the group.
The what?
The
Yeah,
party treasury.
That seems like a fair enough way to do it.
sounds
I
fine.
just opt that we continue to do so. However, I personally don't enjoy having that much money on me. That's very
That's
easy for
fine.
somebody
Remy will
to.
take yours right off of you.
You absolutely will fucking not.
So,
What I will do is I will take if we have a way to exchange it such, owing to our current diversification of coin, I'll take perhaps 100 copper, 100 silver, and 100 gold, and you can take my share of this here coin and also add that to the party treasury. I have no interest in carrying around multiple thousands of gold pieces. That's a good way for money to just disappear. If
That's a
the
good way
right-
to get stabbed.
If the right rogue tells that you have it, you are either then immediately broke or immediately dead.
I don't
Oh.
need
The
the
thing
money
that-
either, but I'll carry it if 1, you trust me, and if 2, it doesn't fit all into the bag. That's quite a hefty sum.
It certainly is.
yeah.
Shara would say, I don't necessarily want an equal share, but if you all want to give me maybe 200 gold pieces, I'll just call it even for my help in all
Shara,
this.
You
How
can
many
certainly take.
barbarians are in this fort that we're in as well? That came in to kind of help out clearing it.
Uslog, so NPC wise, there's Uslog's family, which probably don't care about gold because they don't. I mean,
No.
So they, I'm not sure how many of them there are. That was more like Uslog's knowledge.
We
But
gave a flat fee to the barbarians of 2,000 gold.
yeah, you could do that if you want. I mean, they could probably use the money for something, but I don't think they're going to ask
Okay.
for any money.
Okay, that'd be a party vote. That's don't just take that as canon.
So that'll give us less than 2,000 each.
So
That's
I'm
not
gonna
enough.
do the same thing that Lark did with taking what you said, 200 gold pieces for yourself.
I took yeah, close enough. I took 100. Well, actually, no.
100.
I took 100 gold, 100 silver, 100 copper. Well, that depends on whether or not we actually have that sort of diversification of coin. I don't know what all has been found since everything you had was
So how about
removed from you.
for now? You could just say if you want to mark for the treasury that there are 15,000 gold pieces in the vault at the, at this fort. So you just
And
know
then we
where
can
it is.
sort it out.
You can figure out if you take from there. Just let the treasurer know, and you can minus what you're taking. etc.
So
it is after
Remy,
10 o'clock. We don't have change.
Because I assume you're not
what,
just taking 15,000 worth of bars out right now. unless you really want to.
Well, I certainly
I'll
don't want to
take-
leave all of it here because we're going to come back and it's going to be mysteriously gone. So,
Take 5,000. How much can our bag of holding
Can
hold?
you remind me what the bars of gold weighed each?
Yeah, so each 50 coins are 2 pounds, I believe. Or no, I think 50 coins are a pound, so 100 coins are 2 pounds. So just divide 15,000 by, yeah.
So 1,500 pounds. No, is that right?
Seven. Yeah, I think it's
750 pounds.
yeah, something like that. Math.
Now,
Okay,
I do have one quick question about the things that we found in the boxes upstairs. I know you said that it was pretty much any like book adventuring gear, but I just want to confirm whether or not we might have seen a spyglass in there, because I know that those are a little bit unusual, a little bit uncommon.
Odd or even. It's something they might have.
That's too much of a. I can't decide.
Odd.
Odd.
Oh, I rolled a 2.
Just roll for
No,
it. Yeah.
no spyglass.
God damn it!
I'm sorry, you said 50 coins is 1
Is a
pound?
pound, yeah.
So 200 pounds for 10,000 coins?
Let's see.
Oh my god. If that's true, my math is embarrassingly far off.
We say 1 pound, 50 gold. Yes.
It's 50.
2
What
pounds
was
for
the
100, 20
total
pounds for
amount?
1,000.
What's the total amount
20
weight-wise that we had?
20 pounds per
Alright,
thousand.
so
Right.
I'm
Just
putting
kidding.
10,000
200
worth
for
of
10.
the coins into the bag of holding, and I'm pulling out the ingots, because y'all can figure out how we're going to carry those, but I would rather put money in the bag, because that
Yep.
can be turned into anything.
Well, you
You
could
can
leave
buy
the
ingots with that.
yeah, I mean you could leave the ingots in the vault there. You can just mark them as that's where they are.
Yeah, but
I think she was pulling out the crafting. It's like the dark
The dark
steel,
steel.
because those are not money
Yeah, that's
necessarily.
fine.
I will make a note at the bottom of this document what's in the vault, but I
see what you're saying,
I'm not
that we put them
confident that
there.
we're going to have access to this vault for very long, so...
Yeah, okay, so I have a question. How many gold bars are sitting here?
There's now 5,000 worth of currency and coin, minus
So that's what?
Yeah,
100
Uh,
and
5,050, 200 gold
155 or
piece.
something. I don't know, whatever it is that you took, Clark.
So let me see.
Well, we'll say that I have not taken my share yet, because I just wanted to do it up in coins, and seeing now,
what is
understanding now that it's all ingots, I'll sort that out later.
Some
I
of
just
it's
want,
coins,
Okay.
because they were our coins.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then in that case, I'll take 100 gold, 100 silver, and 100 copper.
Why am I having so much trouble
What is-
doing this math? Sorry, go ahead.
It's like,
what is the what is the 1/7 right now? Like, what is our divided share of the total? I guess is what
It
have we
would be
calculated?
2,100 and something, but it's all screwed up now. So, what's left there? It would be 714 gold.
714 gold each.
Yeah, 5,000 left there, divided by
Why- but
B6, 833 gold each.
And that's because you put 10,000 or 5,000 or whatever,
That's
10,000 in the bag.
10,000 into the bag. Yeah,
And that was coins?
in various coins, which I imagine you can figure out what the denominations would be for yourself. But
We'll just say it's in gold. We'll say it's gold bars. So they're all in
Well,
gold
roughly-
bars.
let's say it's coins too, though,
eight
because we
gold-
had coins and they're easier
8
to
gold
sell.
bars a person.
Alright. So can I just say that I find can I grab my 2,100 share? Can I accumulate that in my arms and just take that out, and I will be fully responsible for my 2,100 or whatever it was?
If you can carry that many bars.
So there are,
Yeah.
I think there are 150 bars. Am I doing the math right?
Oh my god.
Because each bar is
I'm
100
setting
gold,
up a
right?
spreadsheet
Just
real quick.
excuse me while I go get an accounting
me-
degree, and I'll be back.
Let me propose that
Yeah.
we
So
put the gold in the bag of holding, and then maybe offline we can do the math
So,
on this. Since
actually-
it seems to be complicated.
yeah, okay. So every bar is 100 gold. So you just divide 15,000 by 100, which gives you 150 gold bars. And each bar weighs 2 pounds, so that's 300 pounds worth of gold.
Yeah, we can easily do that. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so 300, and then we're dividing that by 7 right off the bat. Is that what we're doing?
Mm,
Or is it by 8?
Yes, or divide it by 7, and then if you don't want your share, you can do whatever you want.
All right, so
yes, divided by 7. So you take 2,142, Remy.
yeah, so 42.8 pounds. So I will take 42 pounds of gold. Remy will say, or 42 pounds of gold bars. He'll wink at you. He will disappear into his ring. Gonna drop the gold bars in his lavish ring bedroom, and then he's gonna pop back out as a bonus action. And that is one time I can do it a day. You'll see nothing in his hands and go, okay, finally, finished.
Well, now we know for sure what it was that he was doing in the middle of the night when we couldn't find him.
So it seems. All right.
That's a neat trick.
Alright, so yeah, each of you get, we'll just say to make it easy, each of you get 2,100.
No, it's so there's 10,000 in the bag of holding. There is currently 2,858 sitting on the floor because Remy took his portion out of what was there. So
Okay.
if anybody wants me to give them money out of the bag of holding, that's fine. But if you just want to grab a couple of hundred, take it out of that pool of 2858 because it'll just make it easier for the math. I'm not good at math.
Sounds great. I'm going to take 100 from the ground.
Okay,
Take a
so now
gold bar.
there's 2758, and Maddie's taking 100 gold, 100 silver, which I think equals 10 gold.
Correct. So
Yeah.
it should be 111 gold between the
Okay.
gold, the silver, and the copper.
So that's 2647. Okay, and Adeline's going to take 500 gold. So now there's 2247. Okay, anyone else?
2147.
2147. Okay.
Since
Who's
Adeline
dog?
took 500, I'm going to take another 100.
Okay.
So 2047.
2047. Uslog?
All right, I'll take 100 gold, sure.
Oh my god, you guys need more than 100 gold.
Okay, I'll take 500 gold.
Okay.
Certainly, I believe that. Yeah, I certainly plan to make use of more than 100 gold at a time. I just don't want to have it on me.
Okay, I'm gonna put 500 in the bag of holding with your name on it.
I believe you have 2,000 in the bag of holding with my name on it.
Okay, I will.
Just because I wasn't taking it didn't
I
mean.
No,
will
I
take
was gonna divide up.
1,000.
No, I'm fucking kidding. I
I will
joke.
take 1,047 gold pieces
This is what I get for giving
for the
out gold.
remainder of the gold.
Okay.
I'm
I'm
just going to
putting
switch to credit cards.
in one of the sacks that I got earlier that is on my person.
You're all
I
getting
am
a
tying
debit
up
card.
and putting Lark's name on for at least that 500. But the other 10,000 we'll divide up at a later date. Just remember what you took here, okay?
Okay.
Enough.
So there's another 10,000 in the vault. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Or in the
nothing is
bag?
in the vault. All the
Alright.
gold is taken.
And you put this...
$1,000 or 1,000 gold worth of dark iron ingots in the vault.
Okay, so the
Yep.
ingots are there. Alright, so I'm going to pass some time unless there's something one of you wants to do.
Well, we are definitely still combing over every inch of the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, was there more in this room besides the gold? Because that was 30 minutes ago.
So there's probably not much else here at this point other than the actual rooms and just the supplies you kind of found. Well,
Chomsky, do you still have that detect magic going?
there is one other thing that they would have found. Sorry, give me a sec. Give me...
I'll just keep... Go ahead. Sorry.
Quince will kind of bring out a couple of sacks and vials she found that appear to have components. That's what I forgot. Which there
Carl
are.
also grabbed 200 pounds of those ingots that we laid down in the
So,
thing, just in case.
so there are 2,200 gold pieces of arcane and 1,000 gold pieces of religious components.
Well, Karash, it seems perhaps your manifestation of the universe was correct. We have found that which we require.
Yeah, she
Strangely
says.
seems to be.
Go ahead.
Oh, that was it.
She says, yeah, there was a couple of storage areas down here, and I figured you all might want this, so I grabbed it.
Good thinking,
We
Prince.
appreciate your conscientiousness.
She
Prince,
says,
we were going
no.
to go and look to see if we could find anything magical. Do you think I could borrow that gem of true seeing?
She says, yeah, I've mostly combed the first level in the basement, but you can take another look if you want. There's another thing we have to figure out. The nasty business of what we're going to do with the prisoners. Do we want to execute them or just hold them?
No.
Who are these prisoners that you mentioned?
Some of the soldiers that fled from the miasma, most of them defeated or gave up for protection. So we took their weapons and locked them away.
Are they Shadowkai associated with
Yeah, they were.
Shadowlords?
She says, I don't know which of them are mercenaries and which of them are cultists, but there's about 30 of them that we have imprisoned.
Indeed.
So
Perhaps we have found a use for our imprisoned Shadowkai friend, after all. Perhaps he will have some insight as to who they are. I don't know that I
If they were all cultists, what would this group decide?
she says, well, they were all in power when the creature attacked because they were helping, defend. But they retreated to some place where, basically, they asked me for protection, and basically, I took their weapons as a guarantee that they wouldn't attack me or the barbarians. So,
Sorry, how many of them were there?
30.
30.
Is there a way to know that somebody would be able to survive this miasma with a physical marking or a tattoo or an item, perchance, or is that more of an enchantment?
If they had an amulet like the ones that we have, certainly they could have.
Yeah, and you, I think, didn't you have some kind of enchantment that was protecting you? I can't remember the backstory.
You essentially told me that, not to metagame too much, but just that, well, you're asking. A wizard sent me here, gave me a temporary enchantment spell that would help protect me.
Right.
But it wasn't a physical item per se.
Yeah, it was just a temporary protection. All right.
But the ones that we were using, you were saying that basically they work like
they were charged
radiation detectors. Once they get like full tilt, they're no good anymore. Right?
Yes. So yeah, at this point, I mean, they still might have some energy in them, but they're pretty low.
And since I wasn't here, forgive me, but the old witch Shadowkai that we saw that was holding them at bay, did we run into her again, or is she still out there somewhere?
Holy shit, I forgot about her.
Yeah, you guys forgot about her. You didn't see her when you were looking around, so you think she either died or left.
When we combed that floor, okay, that's actually a good question. In that room on the second floor, was there any trace of any creatures left? Because she was siphoning some dead dudes.
The corpses would still have been there, but she was not.
Very well.
So we have to figure out what we're going to do with those prisoners, Quinn says. I have to still feed them if we're going to keep them here for a long period of time, or we just have to...
There are a lot of rations upstairs, Quince, and I'm certain we could put them into a room, into the dungeon that we were in, with the rations, and they'd be quite safe there for some time.
Oh.
Perhaps.
All right, she says, but still, yeah, we just have to figure out if we're going to keep them, because we can't keep them here indefinitely. We have to do something with these prisoners, either release them or,
Well, I don't think we'll be here indefinitely.
Are they from this realm, or do they come from various homeworlds of their own?
They're all
Shadowkai. Then they would be from here, yes.
They were.
Perhaps,
Go ahead.
Quince, you could tell us a bit more about the dynamics that exist between the Nightwalker, the Shadar-kai, and the powers that, used to hold sway over this fort, and, us. You had mentioned that they were previously in power before the Nightwalker
So
sorted walking around and shit.
yeah, from my blending in with them, there was a guy in charge. He was killed during the attack. I think there was around 150 or so of the Shadar-kai soldiers.
Quince, I thought Arden Relic was in charge.
Arden Relic isn't here, she says. He left shortly after you were captured. I don't know where he went. I didn't get that information.
But he's the warden of this prison, yes?
Yes, he was. But he left someone else in charge when he took off. So I don't know where he is currently. I thought I heard mention of him heading back to the to Gaian for some reason, but I don't know for what.
Well, that certainly bodes well. So this prison is typically under the command of Arden Relic, who is not here, and he had appointed another individual to deal with it in his absence.
Yeah, to watch over the place until he got back.
And during that absence, it was beset by the Nightwalker. Some 120 Shadar-kai are either missing or dead, and you have 30 of them. What was the original functionality of this fort before this incident? I suppose what I'm trying to answer for myself is what role, if any, these Shadar-kai would have played in
From what
Malik's power or Gaivok's power.
She says, from what I ascertained from speaking with everyone while I was in hiding, I think they were currently gathering information about the Shadowlord's whereabouts. Because apparently after we defeated him, he was banished back to the Shadow Realm, and they're trying to figure out what happened to him. This is one of, I think they said, 3 forts that his people hold within the Shadowfell.
So they do owe allegiance to Malik in the end.
I believe so. At least to some extent.
So is there a difference between Shadowfell and Shadow Realm?
The Shadowfell is basically that's the place you are now.
They think that the Shadowlord was banished here, but they haven't been able to find him here?
Yes. So she says when he was defeated, from what I ascertained, he left whatever vessel he was occupying, and his essence returned to the Shadowfell. And I heard something about him reforming or trying to reincorporate himself somehow.
Well, it seems these individuals chose the path of suffering through the hands of other people and the path of darkness and chaos. Given the chance again, they'll likely do the same. And as loath as I am to take life, I believe that we should take no chances and execute them.
I think that we should first have a conversation with them. We have not heard any of this from their own mouths, and although I know very little about the sort of leader that Malik is, perhaps many of these Shadar-kai only serve him because they have no better option. Perhaps many of them choose to serve him because they want to, and if that is the case, then yes, regrettably, I agree that their existence is a threat. However, until we have a chance to speak with them face to face, I would not dare assume that any of them have chosen this existence for themselves. They certainly could have, like I say, but
while I agree that you're likely right that the choice was taken from them, given the choice again, would they choose the same path or would they resist?
let's ask them and find out.
We are not judge and executioner. It's one thing to fight them if they're fighting us, but we can't just kill them in cold blood.
We can.
We had a bunch of rations on this floor. We just toss them in a cage with those rations and work it out.
As I said,
all I'll say is if I could take away the suffering that was inflicted upon me before her future sight, I would have. But that's just me.
There are channels and authorities that should be appealed to in this case.
Do they hold
Sometimes.
sway over the Shadowfell? Do they
No,
have
they do not, Lark, but
jurisdiction?
there's still people with more
Uh,
jurisdiction than me.
if I could interrupt, I might have a solution. What's her name says? Sorry.
Quint?
No.
Shara?
Shara, yes. Is it Shara? Why can I not remember any names right now? I think my brain is just fried from all the math. Yes, I believe it was Shara.
I dropped
Yeah.
300 gold
So
pieces.
Shara says there is a northern city that it's a couple of days' travel from here, but we might be able to give the prisoners over to them. I'm not big within. I'm not very knowledgeable of the cities within the Shadowfell, but the Empire of name. The Empire or the Vidian Empire does not look kindly upon those who worship the Shadow Lords, and they might be willing to take prisoners and deal with all of this.
So the Shadowfell is not simply a wasteland with forts here and there. There is actual
Oh no, there is a whole
culture and
empire
community
here.
down here.
She says the Vidian Empire is quite old. There are no cataclysms in these lands, unlike your world.
Would
Well,
we know
I'll
anything
be a
about that from
son of a
the
bitch.
diplomatic standpoint? Like,
Sorry, what?
Would Lark and I know anything about this, like, given our background in diplomacy?
So there isn't much contact between the Feywild and the Shadowfell and Gaian. For the most part, those realms are separate, other than a couple of powerful individuals that can whatever the word would be, move through one realm to another. So you probably haven't. I mean, this might be. Other than I think, what is it, Lark? I think you had one ally here, right? Who got you here in the first place.
Yep.
I don't think any of you would have much knowledge of the Shadowfeller dealings with them.
And I would imagine, we'll say that to keep it logical, my interactions with my contact are pretty need to know.
Sure, yeah.
That seems appropriate.
But
So then, in response to Shara's suggestion, I'll say, well, that is quite illuminating. If there is a culture and a kingdom down here that actually does hold sway and have power, and in fact are not fond of the followers of Malik, then I believe that we have a very generous inroads with them, in that we can potentially offer them these 30 individuals, and this will do many things for us. One, as I said, it might give us some sort of introduction to these powers that be. Two, it will eliminate from us the burden of responsibility in deciding whether they should live or die, which, three, to Lady Kendrill's point, does not make us judge, jury, and executioner, and four, would allow for them to have some sort of trial, such as it exists in this plane.
I would add to that 5, because they should know that the Shadow Lords are somewhere in the offing and could possibly reform here. So having them know about it and being prepared for it and possibly stymieing that from happening would be probably a good thing as well.
I quite agree. It seems perhaps that introductions into a new world empire are in order.
But I would
I'm
suggest that
always-
we leave them here for the time being and perhaps just go ourselves.
I'm always
Perhaps.
for conversation, but if you ask 30 evil individuals if they should be released from imprisonment, 30 will say yes.
Right,
Well,
but
we're
we
not
can
going
leave
to
them
just
here
let them
with
go.
Vincent Zaris and go ourselves.
And if we did decide that we wanted to take them, we're not just going to fucking let them walk around nimbly bimbly and show us the way.
so
Certainly, we have many barbarians that could assist us in escorting them.
Agreed.
So Shara would say, "Do you have a piece of paper by chance?"
I do. It just so happens that there were some crates upstairs that had paper in them.
Alright, so she would take the paper and some ink and start sketching a crude map of the area to kind of give you an idea of what this at least nearby area would look like. She says before recently, before what we did, this area was off limits because of the Nightwalker. Basically, anything that came up here would die. But now that it's gone, the town could possibly, or city could possibly come up here and do something with the fort if we don't want to try to hold it. Or if you all don't want to try to hold it, it's none of my business. But the town of name is New Havisgard is an elven settlement with Shadar Kai in it that's about 2 or 3 days south of here along the mountains.
How do we know that they're not family to the people that are here?
The town is no friend to the cultists, trust me. The only reason they didn't do anything about the fort was because of the Nightwalker.
So, share with me a little bit about what it is that you know about the Shadowkai in general. It was my understanding, and perhaps it was a biased one, that all Shadowkai were sort of inherently untoward, and many of them, if not all of the ones that I have ever met, were deeply rooted in the existence of the Shadowlords. Is this not the case?
So no,
At least not down here.
the elven peoples or the original natives of Gaian and our peoples spanned many of the Great Plains, the Shadowfell and the Shadowfell and the opposite one. Shit, what was its name?
Feywild.
Feywild, yes. We have settlements in all three, both in Gaian, in the Shadowfell, and in the Feywild. Some have followed Malik, or the Shadowlord, down darker paths, but most of the elves have no interest in serving him. In fact,
I
I
see.
said, the towns and the Empire in general have outlawed any type of worship or servitude to their group.
Very interesting. That certainly
hated
certainly
among
changes
the Empire.
that changes the conversation surrounding the captives that we have. Certainly, it was my understanding that, for whatever reason, Shadowkai inherently owed Malik their allegiance, and clearly that was a gross misunderstanding on my part. So, first and foremost, I apologize for having that opinion. Second, I think that it
So
was
we're
sort of
not killing them? We're not killing them?
No,
no,
we're not
we're
killing them.
not killing them.
Oh, okay. I zoned out there for a moment.
Not
Apologies.
yet, at least.
I think that the best use that we have of them is to use them as prisoners and take them to this city that Quince mentioned and turn them over, so that way they can do whatever they choose to do with them, which is more or less law and order in this plane.
Perhaps
Well-
we
Not,
could
not
split the
that
difference a bit,
not that
Maddie.
I'm
Perhaps, Lark, we could split the difference a bit. Take a few of them with us. The ones who seem to be more leaders. Quince, are there some that are more leaders?
She says, there are a couple of captains, but many of the ones who survived were foot soldiers. There was only
Perhaps we take the captains then.
there was
and
only
leave the
about
others.
3 captains that
Leave the
survived.
others here under guard. That would be a bit easier than trying to take 30 of them across ground we don't know.
That seems wise. When she meant when Quince mentioned that there are perhaps 3 captains among 30, does that seem? Obviously, I have no understanding of how like Shadowfell militaries are organized, but does that seem like a sensible ratio in terms of like
Well,
an effective unit?
not generally, but also a bunch of the leadership could have been killed in the attack, so that might just be the ones that survived.
Okay.
And what were you saying, Koresh? I kind of cut you off there.
sorry, I muted myself. I wanted to reiterate, not that I'm bloodthirsty, but as a gardener, sometimes you just have to pull weeds, and we take risk if we're transporting. We take risk if we're waiting. We take risk if we're manipulated by
Sometimes you gotta make compost.
people.
I think the point, though, Koresh, is that these are a powerful chip in play from a diplomatic standpoint. There's something to trade for what we need.
The only question is do we remain on this diplomatic realm, or are we looking to get back to a more common home?
You may do as you please, but we went to a lot of trouble, and I'll look at Uslog, to conquer this Malik. And if there's a chance he can come back while he's here, I don't plan to take it myself.
I quite agree in that I did not necessarily come here to engage with the Shadowlord, but in learning what I've learned about his downfall and his potential for resurrection, I would say that the greatest responsibility here is to ensure that he does not do so, and if he does, that, well, we are there to stop him. And in continuation of your previous analogy of a gardener having to pull weeds, I quite agree, but
So
this is not our garden. We are guests here. Now that we know that it is actually like I said, a civilization and not just a wasteland, which was again my misunderstanding. There are powers that be here, and if this were my plane and my city, and I had a very clear instruction that the worship of Malik was outlawed, and some unknown entities brought, captains and captives of such a dark practice of magic into my possession, I would be inclined to owe them a favor.
Well, I will just say I have mostly lived my life in the wilds of the Shadowfell, Shara says, but the Vidian Empire is not kind to those who worship the Shadow Lords, and most likely, unless you put in a good word, anyone you bring there will be executed. As
And
yeah,
That is their choice.
I
as it
just
should be.
wanted to make
Yeah.
that clear, she says. Also, there is often suspicion dealing with those who come from Gaian or the Feywild here in the Shadowfell. So you might have to do some diplomatic talking, or whatever it would be called, diplomatic maneuvers to
Diplomacy.
diplomacy,
Wording things.
wording things.
So no
Some
more
arbitration.
To speak with the noble families who are often indifferent towards the plight of people from other worlds.
Would you say that the continued existence of Malik is sufficient concern for the nobility of the Shadowfell to be involved in?
They would
I
probably
similarly, I would not expect them to care about Gaian necessarily, but if the presence of Malik is an issue for them, then perhaps that is just another inroads that we could take.
yes, I believe that's something they would want to know about for sure.
Shara, you seem to know a lot about this. Is it something you'd be willing to accompany us on?
Give me a persuasion check. She says, gods, I hate the cities.
I will use DM's inspiration for this. I should have kept my mouth shut.
Well, so here, before you... All right. Well, I was going to say you could probably have Lark say something as well. But
I was gonna say, yeah, if she chimes in, if she's asking, if it seems so, Adeline has made the request. Shara does not seem excited about it. I'll chime in and I'll say, I quite agree in that your knowledge is far and above what we possess, and if the six of us were to simply walk into one of these cities, being outsiders to the realm and without your expertise, I think we would perhaps not fare nearly as well as we would if you were with us, sir.
did we lose Remy?
Yes.
Huh.
I was just going to ask if no more of Uslog had a point of view for this, since it's been a little while.
It seems. I think we should visit that city. I feel like we could safely transport a few of the captains. If we want to try to use them as pawns, but at the same time, it kind of sounds like they'll just get murdered when we get them there.
And perhaps they will, but at that point, it is the decision.
Maybe this fort could be a good bargaining chip, though, because we don't plan on staying here in this fort. This could be a forward base to protect the town
Perhaps,
a little
yes.
bit more.
I quite agree that it certainly could be a forward base for them as well, and again, I think that would be up to their discretion. I think that having a proper military presence here, as opposed to some outsiders and some
Colts.
barbarians, yes, would be advantageous. And to your point about the prisoners perhaps simply dying when they get there, they may. But if they do, then it will have been the decision of the powers that be and not, again,
Our
just a
decision.
handful of outsiders, correct? And if we bring them there and offer them to them, and they show us gratitude for that action, and then decide to kill them, then, well, they've died,
Yeah.
which is more or less what
Uh,
Crash wants.
Uslag, did you want to say anything during all this, or are you just keeping quiet?
She would agree. She'd say, I I think if they do worship Malik, they
Deserve
they
to
should be
die.
killed, but not by us. So
Uh,
I think we should bring them to
what
the city.
about Remy? Did you have anything you wanted to chime in with?
If you don't have the stomach, I can take care of it myself.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. So
Wait, so Lou,
not
Lou, can I, so I want to look at Zaris and Quince, and I want to say, Zaris and Quince, what's your plan from here? I mean, we've been traveling together, but it seems as if Uslag and I are going to move off to this
so
plan.
Quince would say, I have been thinking about that a bit, and actually, I want to look into what's going on in the Shadowfell, what happened to Malik, and I was thinking that this might be a good place. I assumed you all would wish to go back to Gaian, so I think we should maybe part ways, and I'll stay here and try to get more information about Malik and if he is regaining power somewhere. And of course, Zeris wants to stay with me, and he will nod and say, I feel being in the Shadowfell has empowered my newly found warlock powers, so I'd like to stay here for the time being as well.
And, would you be able to get Uslag's family home? Because I'll look at Uslag, like, kind of lift my shoulder.
He says, most likely the gate that was opened is now closed.
You opened it with your sword?
He says, yes, I can try to go back there. The connection might still be available, but these gates are passing, so sometimes they only stay available for a short period of time. But I can check. I'm
What
not.
about you, Rude?
Rude says, I would like to go back to Gaian. I wish to do some studying, but I will defer to the knowledge of the group. I saw a library in here. If we could use that, I would like to study there a bit, see what sort of information I can find out about the Shadowfell.
Which floor is this library on?
It was the second floor. You found some scrolls there the first time you went through. And so from the earlier conversation, Shara would look to Karash and say, are you going with them, my friend?
And did you want me to contribute a role to that?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
You got kind of sidetracked there. I just
fine.
wanted to make sure everyone had something to say.
Yep, absolutely. That did not go.
Are you muted, Karash?
No, I was just waiting for the roll. I didn't know if that was before or after.
It was sort of during.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, no, my bad. So Karash would take a second and just express that and say, well, I don't know if I have much of a path anymore. I am free for the first time that I can remember. This event has taken over the past so many years of my life. The only thing that I have in mind anymore is to find my partner that I lost. However, I don't know if that person is still around. So I'm kind of floating at the moment. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. You had mentioned that you had some druidic powers, yes?
I do. The Wild Mother has deemed me appropriate for whatever reason she deems fit.
She says, I as well am a druid. I was actually wanting to speak with you a bit of your land and your druid circle. fascinates me that you had some connection to this wizard, and I'm kind of interested to learn more about that. So if you're staying with the group, I will stay with them as well, at least for now.
Well,
We would be honored to have you
my
both.
I appreciate that immensely. Thank you, Adelaide. My circle um, follows the natural cycle, and I focus more on death, unfortunately. But that's just part of the rhythm that all of us experience. I just happen to be a little bit more in tune to that side of it than I do growth, for whatever means. Uh, it's drained me, but there's a resilience that is built in me as well that I will never take for granted.
Well, the Shadowfell, as a druid of the Shadowfell, I am well versed in death, as it is a large part of nature here. So, as I said, am interested in learning more about what you know and where you come from.
I've spent a great deal of time with giants as wanderers and roamers, and despite the the evilness that they mostly present, sometimes they have a heart of gold that's unexpected. That is very pleasant. Is actually the first word that comes to mind.
She
So
kind
I've spent quite a bit of time.
of nods and smiles and says, "Well, I will say if we want to travel to this town, we will be going over the wasteland, and this area is very dangerous, so we will have to be cautious. As nature in the Shadowfell is unforgiving and cruel.
Could
And
you
will
share with us a little bit of information about what it is that we are likely to encounter there?
She says, well, the most prevalent of the dangers come in shades and negative energy wraiths. Spirits that are usually created through death within the Shadowfell and wander with unrest, as well as natural dangers, which, what would there be here? She says just things to watch out for, various plant life that exude necrotic energies and other possible.
Oh,
Go ahead.
oh, just sounds lovely. Anyone else not feeling that option?
Have you met you?
Yes,
Remy?
and even I don't want to go over there.
If you want to go into your ring, Remy, we can just carry you there.
I would love
Certainly.
to, honestly, but I've used it already once today, and now I have to walk.
Well, we can't go until tomorrow anyway, or the day after, until the what's his name,
Xerxes
Xerxes.
wakes.
Xerxes, yep.
Xerxes
Oh
is
my
well.
god. You would do that for me?
We would. I would happily carry this.
100% I would do that for you, and it would be simply out of the goodness of my heart.
Ah, that's so kind. I'll think about
Well,
it.
if this group path lies in the valley of death, then I'll take a look at my life and realize that there's only one
All
thing
right.
left, and follow.
Oh, all right.
Ah! I had to do it. I'm sorry.
I got what you were putting down. Now I feel old. But anyway, yeah. So we are getting close to the end here. Lots of storytelling this game. Why don't we do MVP votes? And next game, you got all the resources sorted and lots of interactions between the new players and the new characters in the group. So yeah, figure out next time where we're going from here. I assume you're going towards the town, right? Is that the consensus?
I'm not sure if we're doing that before or after Xerxes wakes up. I think we want to first wait for
All right,
Xerxes
so you
to
might
wake up.
you might wait a while.
And
Okay.
Yeah.
Gnome also wants to finish up whatever magical
Yeah.
Yep.
imbued
Yep.
item
Oh
that
right,
probably-
the
our
ritual.
group decided on.
Yeah,
So
because we
probably
finished
like
the first
48
four.
hours here or something, and then should we go to the town or go straight to the city?
I think we have to confirm whether or not the town is the city. I think she said it was in the north, so I don't think that is the city, but we'll double check. Did we check out the basement yet or no?
Yeah,
I think we're still.
I mean, that's basically the basement was kind of where the vault and the prisons were. So you've gotten pretty much everything that you found within this place. There wasn't like a cache of, magical weapons or
Okay,
anything.
that's fine. I thought we were still on
So
the first floor.
this
when we
is
did
the town this is the city. This is where you would be taking them. Is this place down
Okay.
here on the map?
Perfect. So then I believe the plan is to,
Nothing is to the north as far as you know. It's just mountains.
Okay. at the
So
very
the
least,
town
we
and the
want to
city
wait
were
for.
one and the same. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
sorry if I misspoke. It's just
That's
the mining colony or mining city that's close by.
Okay.
New Havens. What was it? New Havens or Havisgard.
Okay. At the very least, I think we plan to wait for Xerxes to wake up so that way we can speak to him and find out, just how he's doing. Also, whether or not he knows anybody by the name of Aranye Hollowhand, and then also potentially talk to Hollowhand and see if he knows anybody named Xerxes, and then maybe let him out, and then maybe finish doing this enchantment deal in the alchemy lab there, and then, if assuming that no other bag of worms opens during any of those 5 things, then I think we will. It sounds like the plan is to head out to the city with maybe the 3 captains as prisoners, and yeah, I think that's the intended order of operations.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
I think we have a 4-way tie. So I need one more vote to see if we.
Do you want me to unabstain?
Tiebreaker.
It's up to you. You can abstain or not.
Hell
5
no.
of you have voted. So make sure don't send me the message in Discord. Send it as a whisper.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you go. I will abstain.
Which is just
Blue.
the /W space GM and then space the name of the person. Yeah.
In the rooms, so I wanted to just refill my backpack with what I had. So, did I find any dice, cards, or a good book to read?
Well, there's a bunch of books in the library. You probably
Okay.
could have found dice and cards just scattered around this place in like soldier rooms.
Sewing kit.
Yeah, you could probably find a sewing kit. That's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, let me go see what you voted in the chat. So there it is. So Lark, with 2 votes, you are the MVP. Congrats.
Thank
Otherwise,
you
it was
very
a
much.
split vote.
I appreciate that a great deal.
Alright, I know it was a slower game, but hopefully everyone still had fun.
I most certainly did. I'm also aware, now that I've been playing for so long, I'm very aware that the diplomatic RP is much more up my alley than I thought it was. So if anybody doesn't dig it, let me know. I talk a lot.
It's the.
No,
it's
tonight
the
was
high
great.
rhythm.
Yeah.
Thanks
No,
for being
no,
patient with
definitely.
me not being here, and I'm sorry about the next few weeks, but I really appreciate you guys.
It's fine, we'll figure it out.
Good.
You can make it.
So yeah,
Definitely good. As I learn cadence for people with it, sometimes it's helpful to like go down the list a little bit, but I'm not, as it falls kind of into a natural order of things, it's not necessary. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it depends the balance between role playing and them just weighing in as players.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I personally I try as much as physically possible to stay in character, only because I think it really helps to eliminate the knowledge of things that you're not supposed to know. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I think is the real value of limiting out of game interactions, is just letting people do the things that they would do with the unfortunately limited knowledge that they have. That's what puts you in those really juicy bad situations, is doing something that as a player you know that you absolutely shouldn't fucking be doing.
No, you're an excellent in character speaker, actor, contributor for sure. No doubt about that.
Oh, thank you very much.
No, it's very good.
I just broke my brain on the math and then couldn't play D&D anymore. So I was just kind of rambling the rest of the game after that. Stuff's happening
okay.
and
That's okay.
Shadowfell and names.
Math is
I'm
hard.
still in the fetal position myself.
Morty, you're in the shadow. I can't do Rick.
Morty, you don't know what you're doing with that power, Morty.
There it is.
You never you never put 14,000 gold in a room, Morty. Everybody knows that's suicide.
It's mental suicide.
Quick count, Morty. In and out. It'll take 20 seconds of math. No problem.
If you put 15,000 gold in a room, Morty, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. Well, if anyone has any comments or anything to say about the game, as usual, just let me know if it was too much RP or you didn't have fun. But yeah, hopefully everyone, I'll see you next week because I'm going to take a nap.
Yep.
All right,
Enjoy.
guys. Have a good
See
week.
y'all.
All right,
Night
night,
all.
everybody.